which would favour the West Coast end. Get Barry to keep an eye on that from ground level.
And there's a picture of consistency. Matthew Prittis, the Brownlow medalist, who has just for a decade been a sensational player. Josh Walker gets another opportunity. And there's one of the stars of last year, Jeremy McGovern, the best intercept marker in the business.
So the build-up is over and the bounce about to take place for the West Coast Eagles and Brisbane. Stephen Martin facing off against Nick Natanui. And they're in motion as the siren sounds right on the ball as it hits down towards Rockcliffe. Flick the handball up. Martin, his follow-up's always outstanding. Gets in the chain. Rich almost within range. A low bullet into the 50. Opportunity for Josh Walker, the former Cat, but straight into the job. McKenzie back
pressure.
on it. And they get it over the line and out of bounds.
That's the close-up pressure that's required from Brisbane all afternoon. They've got to set a standard early and then be able to maintain it for 4 quarters. And it's the senior players like Christensen that need to continue to do that to lock the ball inside their forward 50.
Natanui gets unlocked and gets the tap down. Prittis out to Darling. Expectations would be high. Of course, he had such an interrupted pre-season last year. Came in mid-year and was okay, but certainly wasn't ever quite back to the heights we'd seen in the past of Jack Darling. So he'll have high ambitions for season 2016.
Well, they're playing with an extra man in defence, the Eagles, not because they've got one down there from their forward line. It's because the Brisbane Lions have pushed one up to the contest and they've got an extra just floating back by himself.
Yeah, Clay Beams, I don't mind it either because he's the last one. He's got some genuine speed as well. You can see him there at the bottom of the screen because when West Coast try and break through and get that overlap football happening, then you need speed back there to be able to control that.
Well, you can see him come into play here. He's behind this pack. He's been slung to the ground. And Troy Pennell says that was okay. Let's have another boundary throw in.
Harris Andrews got the full brunt of the tackle, but Kennedy just showed enough care.
And he was one of the big improvers last year, a young bloke from Queensland who also shows deft skill at the intercept marking.
He got the 19 games out, which is a terrific effort as an extremely young man. Shuey, the shepherd, and the Eagles get it inside, but not for long. Christensen on the job.
Great positioning from Christensen.
Comes away for Taylor. Followed up his rising star year pretty well last year. And the link continues with Mays. He's another that'll be looking for a really big year ahead. Hasn't quite fulfilled his talent yet.
Just looking to maintain some early possession.
Oh, this
50.
And that'll put the skipper right in the zone so they almost have a certain shot at goal.
Yeah, well, he delayed, didn't go to the captain's launch and all those sort of things through the AFL launch because he was just trying to get himself right for this game. So a smart call from him, a dedicated call to send Piers Hanley down on his behalf so he could focus on getting himself right so he could lead this team well today.
He's had no matches in the NAB Challenge in the lead up to this season. Interrupted year last year. But a fine leader for the Lions, and they have made the perfect start with the first goal.
Well, just to start, the travelling Lions would have loved not just any player, but the skipper, Tommy Rockcliffe, who set the standard. He said he wanted to play, probably could have fudged and stayed home. He had every justification in doing so. But no, he wanted to lead from the front, and here he is grabbing, courtesy of a 50-metre penalty, the first shot at goal, and Julie gets the first goal on the board.
Let's go that way, boys.
See, the uncontested possessions is where Brisbane have been just trying to control the footy so far, get it in their forward half. It's produced a goal. A little bit of help from the 50-metre penalty.
Holding, West Coast.
Free kick looks like it's going Luke Shuey's way. Instant movement. Gaff will provide that. Kennedy's the long target. If he gets going, could be in for a big day. But it's going to be hard to get over those sort of numbers in front. Cripps is a good all-rounder in that forward 50. Fires away and gets the minor.
Good passage of play by the Eagles. Didn't get the full score. Talking to a couple of the senior people around the Eagles, they're a little bit perplexed as to what they were going to see here, Jono, given their NAB Challenge form. Wasn't brilliant. They had a big win against Essendon, of course. Fell in against the Gold Coast in really windy conditions here in Perth.
Well, McGovern, the crunching smother, and Robinson doing the hard stuff. It's Natanui just settled there as Natanui comes out and takes the mark, dead in front of goal.
That was a good launch. He got a fair runway to have a crack at it.
The only problem, Joe, there was really no one there to climb over to make it look more spectacular.
No, it's a wasted opportunity for Margaret here. You just see him here. They allowed him to just track forward. And he takes a pretty easy shot.
Kicked 17 goals, 13 last year. Just under a goal a game. And that's right through. And the Eagles answer with their own.
It's an interesting case study. He's played a lot of footy injured, I think, Nick Naitanui, and right now he looks as if he's got rid of his Achilles problem. He's got rid of that groin osteitis pubis issue that dogged him a couple of years ago. He looks fit and he looks raring to go. No excuses for any lowering of his performance.
And you can see there Steph Martin trying to track back. Nick Naitanui was already deep forward and Steph Martin couldn't get back to put any pressure on him. Great positioning.
Straight back. Time your leg, guys.
That's what Steph Martin's going to have to watch out, because last year's battle, Steph Martin took the points against Nick Naitanui. So early points here to Nick Nat. Big challenge for Steph.
Nice set into the ruck, but it's going to end up going West Coast way. Kick out into the space almost to the runner, but Ellis couldn't get there for the West Coast, which enables Brisbane now to move into attack through Cutler first and Christensen deep. Walker starts behind. He's got position though on Schofield. Just didn't take the mark.
Thought there was a hold there, Hutto.
Could have been, yeah. I think he maybe thought that. And that's a wayward one from Bennell.
Have a look here, just holding there from Schofield. He's holding the arm. Yeah, that should have been a free kick to Walker, especially with him not looking at the football, Schofield.
A long way back.
Well, Justin Lepage said before the game they are going to take risks, Brisbane. They know they have to score. So it'll be interesting to see their mantra. Certainly don't want to get beaten early. They'll be wary of that. And the Eagles, when they're up and running, is such a powerful combination. We're seeing some of it here. Lies set, some more uncertainty about their ball movement. Those just sheer weight of numbers causing that confusion. Hurried kick handling, made do with what he had on offer. Big fly from Shaki, no mark, good tackling, pressure again. Buick laid the tackle, no free kick paid, and they get it out of there, and it's going to come even quicker now because Darling's on the move and he's got options to cut through the middle. Went in between the two targets. Yo, just a moment to steady, and Kennedy's waiting for Lacroix, and it's coming your way, Josh. It wasn't perfect, and he's got teammates. And haven't we seen a lot of that this weekend? And he rolls it through for a goal. Bennell.
Starts on centre wing here, Jared, because West Coast are able to get a quick kick out of defence and then get their pure run going. That's the excitement we like to see from the West Coast Eagles. A couple of Brisbane defenders were caught ball watching, which allowed then this ball to get into some dangerous spots. It wasn't pure kicking from West Coast. They just had the numbers there. Brisbane weren't able to get back in time. And just the weight of numbers, you can see Bennell and Yo just bursting into the goal square. And they just outrun through gut run there, the West Coast Eagles.
We've seen a lot of presses over the weekend, and that once the ball gets out, you're in real trouble, Jono, if you're pushing up high.
Yeah, and that's the key. That's why the anchor, if you like, the last player back, has to be positioned perfectly to try and stop that, because then you can actually start an attack from your defensive 50.
Pasternak dug it out really well, got it to Taylor, so good control. Under siege was Hanley. The Eagles' defence really ganging up there.
I think it's important, though, Hutto, that the Lions try and play a style of footy that is going to sustain them when they're playing finals footy. No point making the game a 0-0 draw, which they did here last year from memory. It might have been the year before, and there was 200 or 300 stoppages. I mean, you've still got to play a game and practice playing the game that you are going to take into your final whenever that comes.
Well, it's evident early on. I think they're going to try and do that. It's when fatigue comes into the game, how much they can push through and where their structures hold up once some of these young players get a little bit fatigued.
Shuey got a break and increased that, kicked it to Kennedy.
Well, you just about take the distance here. Got a little bit of breeze behind him. Bazza.
Yeah, he has, Jetta, left to right of screen. So Josh Kennedy, we know he's got that. Yeah, he's got that awkward style, Josh Kennedy, but he's got the breeze at his back. I think it'll sail through.
We'll get back to Barry in a moment. We'll watch Josh Kennedy. 2 years at Carlton, of course. His 9th year with the West Coast. Didn't score in the grand final, and only comes up with a minor there. Quite incredible that he was scoreless on grand final.
Yeah, it is. Especially after the year that he
Coleman medalist,
had
80 goals.
Hold there. Tim.
It just didn't happen for him on the day. He had a lot of mates, that's for sure, who didn't have their best day.
I think he might have had an injury as well that occurred early in the piece, but no excuses when you're across that line, and particularly on that day.
Pasternak was under all sorts of stress, and they've turned it over. Hill forward for Shuey. Eagles leading by 8 and building again. Even numbers down there. Well played by the defence of the Brisbane Lions.
Jeremy McGovern has got himself a bit of a stinger. He's holding his AC joint.
And good to see McStay. Maybe he'll get the steady in defence this year, Jono.
Yeah, and I like that he hit the ground running. So take it and go and try and create something forward.
You'd see McGovern on the bottom of the screen after he punched that one away with his right hand. He is in a bit of strife.
He does seem to get in the wars, doesn't he?
He does.
Always seems to be something.
That was
Bell,
a big contest.
Clever handball. Shaki got it to boot and kept it moving inside. Walker took it from Freeman. Just need to get a couple of good strikes away in front of goals. A fine effort by Rockcliffe, but all to no avail.
We'll keep an eye on him, boys, but he had an injury similar to in the NAB Challenge. He came on the last quarter and kicked the winning goal, so he can play with injury, that's for sure.
That was that windy day, wasn't it, in the NAB Challenge?
He kicked the winning goal from memory.
Yep. Now Gaff cuts this one through the centre, and Darling can thump it. He's going to kick 15 if this continues. Kennedy takes the mark.
Well, he gifted one early in the piece for their first goal. And it's pretty clear what's happening. Darling is the link man, and they're pushing up. They're not getting to Darling. If they want to stop Josh Kennedy from kicking the ball, you've got to get the pressure on Darling.
Well, that's the key, isn't it? The midpoint of the ground here, and that's where you've got to put severe pressure on. Affect that kick, give your defenders a chance, especially if they're floating back.
That's a better shot. Straight through, and the Eagles have 3.
Well, a nice couple of moves by the West Coast Eagles, bringing the ball from defence through the middle of the ground. Magnificent kick from Andrew Gaff, who was another who had a fantastic season last year. Look at that one from Hearn, the skipper. Brilliant ball movement. It's all about ball movement in AFL football today. Retention of the football. And that is just A-grade stuff.
It's the instant play on as well, isn't it? If you can get an instant play on, you get the ball in some dangerous positions.
What a combination they are when they're up and running.
McGovern's just making his way to the West Coast room, so they'll look at that shoulder. They may even just strap it up.
I've seen a few banged up shoulders through round 1. Bodies are hard from pre-season. Lions need to reply, and they do strongly here. Hanley revised his decision a couple of times. Walker will get this one.
Yeah, good body movement there. That's the way to legally get rid of a player and to still take the mark, giving yourself a shot at goal. They've done okay out of the centre of the Lions.
And that was a pure one as well, wasn't it? It was clean. They were able to get a good run from that position. Allowed the forwards to do some work early and get into some good positions. Walker is the one to capitalise here.
So that's from that spot through his career. Hasn't been too flash from Plum in front, but he gets that one right. Important one for Brisbane, that's for sure, early.
Well, just nice pure football that time from the middle. Ball whips out. And this is just a brilliant kick to his advantage. He allows him to knock Schofield off his mark. That's a great kick.
Yeah, the good thing about that was he just put the ball to where he wanted Walker to go.
Yep.
And that was the pleasing aspect of it. It wasn't a lace-out kick. He just weighted it perfectly over the top. Walker could do his body work early, take a clean grab.
Career high 16 games in his 4th year last year for the Cats after 7, 3 and 7 the 3 previous years. Kicked 19 goals, but Geelong with a surplus of tools.
And good to see Pierce Hanley having an influence early in this piece.
Natanui with a spectacular fly, but it came to naught. Martin got it forward, and then Robinson got it to centre half forward, but that's about all. The Eagles defence steady with Butler and Nelson combined. Now they're running through the middle. Hearn took it from Butler, sends it to Kennedy's way again. He nudges McStay. He's given away the free this time.
He knows it too, puts his hand up. Lets everyone know that he was the one who infringed.
Who else did they think it might have been?
No, that's right. Just to make sure.
I think it just might have been an apology of some ways.
Onto the left for Robinson. Well read by Yo. Had a plate in his hand last year. He had that removed post-season. And had a fine season as a genuine all-rounder, playing midfield, forward and back.
inside 50 targets at the moment, it's Josh Kennedy. That is it. The ball is going to him every single time at the minute. What's good. It's just pure work rate. He's just getting in the vision of the kicker because his direct opponent is playing off him a little bit.
It's only resulted in 1 goal so far. Natanui to Pritis. The collect was excellent. And he's got it again. It was a little awkward, but he got it, controlled the footy.
Well, he read it so well, Natanui, that it was going to be a shortfall. Whipped it out to Pritis, and Pritis it was a perfect kick to the dangerous spot. Josh Kennedy had a couple of grabs at it and finally snaffles it. Probably would have got a free kick as well. Bounces off his chest. Well, don't let those ones go.
So Josh Kennedy already 3 marks. There's the numbers for his career. 6 goals, 6 from this spot. 3 misses either side. It's 50 metres. Doesn't matter. It's a goal. And that's what does matter.
Well, he's on world record pace. if this continues, they may have to look at whether it's another matchup or whether they push McStay up and make sure he plays right up on his back now, because he is giving him a metre. You see there, look, it's too much for a player that's in red-hot form early in a game. You've got to be there, change your positioning, get in front of him potentially when you're in a crowded situation, because it just allows one of the prime forwards in the competition to get up and going early.
And it looks like that change has been made.
Harris Andrews now with the responsibility.
It's a better match height-wise, I guess, but
I think he reads the ball better too.
Marching out of the middle of the Eels again through Shuey. Sets a bit of a task with the run. Comes up to it, Kennedy. Good combat, though, by the Lions' defence. And they see it safely over.
Well, it was the courage then of Darcy Gardner. He was on Lacroix deep. He actually took off and was able then to make that interception. But look at that. That's what you like, Jared.
He's got it all going at the moment, has Natanui.
Certainly wouldn't mind roving to him when he's in that sort of form. Head down, Robinson, and just got it away towards the wing. And they've controlled it under great duress and gained 40 or 50 metres. So a little mini win gets it out of bounds.
There's a little clip on the elbow on the way through, and umpire Pennell has whipped out a free kick early.
Well,
that's not a great kick.
No. Hung in the air for way too long for Robinson. Yo with that marking prowess on display again. Thump it in this time. Darling will try and come up and get to it. On the bounce as it turned out. Cripps waiting for it hungrily underneath.
Well, it was a poor kick from Rockcliffe because he had Shaki v Nelson down the ground. Now, Shaki's probably a good 10 centimetres taller than Nelson. Give the your number 1 draft pick a chance to compete early.
It's a real challenge for Elliot Yeo. He's had a fantastic year for the majority of the season last year. Hasn't got a huge tank, but he's got that magnificent leap which enables him as a midfielder to be a really good intercept marker as well, and we've just seen that.
And here he is again, another one playing against his old team today, Yo. Feeding it out to Hill. He waited and gave it to Butler. Gap better watch out. Oblivious to the rundown. Fantastic stuff from Ryan Lester.
I guess when they do the review, they'll question whether that was the way to go through hands or whether Yo had such a head of steam up, hit it to the tall marking forwards that they've got.
Just took a little while to wind up and get to his right side. Ball over the boundary line.
Here it is, not giving up on the chase. Excellent work from Lester.
There's a drop kick. They didn't pay it.
So West Coast leading by 13. Brisbane's effort can't be faulted. Bastanak. It'll be interesting to see what sort of impact he can have for Brisbane. His career came to a bit of a standstill over the last couple of years at North. They probably had a surplus of the same sort of player, Jono.
Yeah, North had a number of those, so he was battling against some quality players at North Melbourne. Gets now an opportunity. He will be one of the prime movers. Will get early opportunities for Brisbane anyway. It's whether then he can maintain it and get to a standard that keeps him in this lineup. It's purely up to him as a midfielder.
What happened to Nick Nat there?
Got a whack in the nose when he went in for that tackle.
Yeah, it looked like he copped a whack in the nose, boys, but good news for West Coast also. McGovern's come up from the race. He's got a bit of tape on that shoulder, so we'll see if he comes back on soon.
Tom Cutler at centre-half back for Brisbane. Goes straight down the middle. Shaki was a good marking target, but you can see the Eagles ready to swoop off half-back. Shepherd just stay ahead of the game, only just. And good counter by Brisbane. The ball didn't want to go out. In fact,
now it is.
Only just went out.
That one there. Oh, yeah.
Nose on the back of his head. Good work from Lysette. Nice layoff. And there's another player, Mark Lacroix, who can go forward. He'll want to do better with the ball than that.
At a career high 18 disposals per game last year. Lacroix, Harwood under the pump, severely under the pump. If they can hold this ball away from the Eagles, they've done well. Harris Andrews ran straight into Duggan.
Well, they're just sweating on them at the present time. They're surrounding them, and when the ball gets given, they're in for the tackle.
Coming to the middle.
Still one down, the Lions forward, so they're battling against the odds.
Good step through from Josh Hill, and it almost went through for a goal.
They've tackled okay at the start of this game, the Lions, but missed tackles like that, that's what it upset Justin Lappich, because it lets down the good work that they've put in around the ground if you miss easy tackles like that and let Josh Hill just step through you.
Stay kick didn't really go anywhere near its intended destination. No damage done yet, but West Coast so good at locking it away in their forward half. They're doing it again here. There's the inside 50 disparity, 13-6, and the time in forward half, which is growing and growing for the West Coast as this opening term progresses here at Domain Stadium. Handy ruck work that time by Lysette. Cripps. Ball not out yet. Well done, Mays. Rich.
Oh, that was very close to deliberate.
Yeah, there was the contest there, Gerard, so he gets away with that one.
What I've noticed so far in this season, the number of players staying on their feet has gone through the roof. No longer are we seeing in this early part of the season, round 1B, albeit is blokes diving on the ball. And that's great.
I was going to say, I think that's a really good thing. Lysette surrounded by the Lions.
Good tackling pressure.
It was Mays feeding through Christensen, and now Martin bounding away. Walker again, his target. McGovern couldn't do anything to stop him.
Good passage of play here by the Lions. Won it back well. And good delivery to Josh Walker.
Tempted down there. Shackie's ready to make a lead, but Walker now feel the responsibility to go back and have the shot.
Well, they're getting him at a good age, aren't they, Jono? Just starting to come into that time where he should be at his peak.
If he can kick a couple of goals a game and give him that structure, I have to strike him better than that, that's for sure. Sets up, though, maybe with a mark.
I thought you were going to say maybe he said it there deliberately. I'm not sure about that.
I don't think so, but Freeman, at least now they've got some tall targets, and this Freeman, he hasn't so far shown that he can win a lot of the ball, but again, he's young, he's a good size, he's got some promise.
Well, it's the marks of a good forward in terms of being able to read a trigger from something unexpected that may happen, and that was unexpected from Walker. You expected that to go through and score. Poor kick, read the cue, got in a good position to mark. 7
goals, 3 in 6 games last year, and sadly for Brisbane, can't
away from home. You just got to convert all that, especially on the back of some good pressure, tackling pressure again, which we've mentioned a couple of times. You got to nail those. Just deflates everyone.
Move it on, play on.
On the line.
Yep.
That's what happens when you're under pressure.
It was out of bounds on the full anyway, but don't know what's a better result now.
It's not up to them to make the choice
anymore. You can see there his foot right on the line.
Definite no ball from Jeremy McGovern. So Brisbane still might get the chance to add another goal. Still 6 minutes remaining in this opening term. No one got a tap on it. Hit the ground, extraordinary. Hanley, swarm all over him. Christensen, that's his specialty.
He started this game well.
He has. He's really been a dominant force through the middle.
I like his speed on the ball. He's making good speed when he gets it and breaks the lines, but then his speed to attack the contest is good as well.
And I think it's been a couple of years since we've seen that. I think his last year at Geelong was injury plagued, and even though he played every game last year, you never felt that he was really at his best. He puts that one through, and Brisbane are right in this contest.
Yeah, it's an excellent start by the Brisbane Lions. And Christensen also has been working diligently through the middle of the ground. And this is what cost them.
There it is.
That's an unforced error, Jono. You want to get those out of the system pretty early. So is that one from Jackson Nelson, who's going in hard enough, but you still got to go in with a considered approach.
Straight back, guys. Time you're late.
So Nick Nananui has had the necessary repairs. He's back into the ruck. Stephen Martin just let him fly on his own. So he's happy to help himself. And Jack Redden getting amongst it. Gets it forward Hill. Whipping it off the back gap onto his left side. It wasn't the perfect strike, as you can see. He's just dragged that one across.
Yeah, Paparone's going to have to be careful with Josh Hill. He went back there to contest the mark, dropped it, and Josh Hill stays on the ground. So that's the importance there Paparone's got. If he goes back, he's got to take those grabs. Otherwise, Josh Hill will have an impact, especially on the scoreboard.
That's it, the full.
Yeah, it's Gardner who's dragged that one across. The wind taking it the rest of the way. At least it's cleared the defensive 50, but Shannon Hearn doesn't even think about having a shot. Instead, he puts it on the chest of Josh Kennedy, who couldn't help but take the mark.
No, and the defensive coach of the Lions will want to know how the hell can there be such a hole when you've got 4 or 5 zoning off, nobody reading it, nobody looking sideways and checking out where the danger zones are. Just going back to that Andrew Graff kick, the Eagles are chasing a flag, and they're going to need to improve X amount of percent, each and every one of those players. And if you do it percentage by percentage, it's those kicks from Gaff that need to go through the goals.
Look at that. He has never missed from there. 15 out of 15 becomes 16 out of 16 for Josh Kennedy.
Well, he gets it there so regularly, and that's the thing. He's just such a pure kick. Pure kick of goal is Josh Kennedy. The stutters are gone. And there's the kick out there from Darcy Gardner. That goes out of bounds on the full. And then I love this because you can see him here about 10 metres, 20 metres out from goal. Step back in. Andrew's not expecting it. And that's just the smarts of...
No one was expecting it, John. There was a huge paddock there.
There's no time to rest these days, Jared.
No.
Especially mentally, you've got to stay switched on that whole time because anything can happen in your area, and it can happen quickly, as we just witnessed.
There was a gaping hole that the Brisbane defence left. Nananui the tap, but Martin, his follow-up work, excellent again. Gets it long, gives the forwards a chance to fly. Oh, Walker in the right spot. So was Christensen, shares the love. And Lewis Taylor kicks it high up into the second tier. And the Lions respond.
Great goal from the Brisbane Lions. That's as pure a passage of play as you'd see, with the exception, of course, of Josh Walker. It's a great bounce. It's a good hit from Nananui, but it's roved by his direct opponent. And you'll see here, just drops his head at the wrong time, lets it slip through. Unselfish play by Christian. Great stuff. That's building a team ethic that you want to get right from the word go. Could have easily run in and kicked the goal himself, dragged another player into it. That's fantastic stuff on the road.
A lot of players wouldn't have given that over the years, Jared.
You're kidding me. Enough of that. Enough of that.
Been reasonably efficient going forward. They've had 8 inside 50s and scored 6 times, the Brisbane Lions. So they haven't had a lot in there, but every time they do, they score.
It's interesting, Steph Martin, what he's doing here. He's allowing Nick Nat to jump, and he's trying to then
read the tap.
Rove his tap.
Yeah, worked quite well on several occasions. A couple of times Nick Nat's given the armchair ride to his midfielders.
Yeah, but it works on that one where he hits it forward. It's when he hits it back that West Coast dominates.
This is the kid we want to see develop for the Eagles. Hasn't hit that one well, but he's a good-looking young midfielder. He's got a big, strong body that's going to get...
Liam Duggan is the man Jared was talking about. There's the Nick Nat tap. And
they've got to work that out. They've got to be able to just swing now and say, this is their strategy. What are we going to do to counter punch? It does Nananui go the big thump and hit it into the outer circle, because at the moment, Brisbane Lions are doing really well out of the centre, given Natanui's dominance with the first possession, the first touch.
Well, it's either come backwards on that or get a forward to come off the back of the square, which mightn't suit what they're trying to do in terms of opening it up for their midfielders to run and possibly break to 50 metres.
Swarm of numbers in there, forward 50 at the moment for West Coast. All hands on deck. Little handball out from Redden. Went to his old teammates, not his new ones. Hanley as they break. Clay Beams, it was a late inclusion.
Nothing
trying to step through Gardner, did well enough. Held up play to get his teammate out wide. Shaki comes up to meet the bouncing kick from Beams, and now there's Eagles everywhere. Bennell feeding it back to Schofield.
Well, he worked hard there, Shaki, but unfortunately wasn't honoured with a good kick.
McStay flew. McGovern had a little look over the shoulder. Gardner was there, so was McStay. And the Brisbane defence on the job. Bell. Robinson's missed the target. That could spell trouble. Kennedy just looked like he was tackling for fun there.
He almost feigned to pick up the ball there. Is it Mitch Robinson?
Steph Martin.
Steph Martin.
Yep.
And he didn't take possession. Pretty clever stuff.
Off to Bastadak, kicks it back towards the wing, and fine effort in the air again by the West Coast Eagles. This time Scott Lysette, who's got a real opportunity this year with the departure of Callum Sinclair to the Sydney Swans. He sets it high. No, flew Hill. He was well placed. And that's just bread and butter for Josh Hill.
That's what I was talking about earlier on. If you're Josh Hill's opponent and you fly, you've got to make sure you have a severe impact on the contest. Yep. Spoil it by 20 metres or mark it yourself, because he's so dangerous at ground level. If you don't affect the contest, this time Darcy Gardner comes up, they all fly, himself and Andrews. Josh Hill just waiting in the perfect position to perform his craft front and square.
Really admire Josh Hill, the way he has rebuilt his career.
Yeah, he's done well.
He's
really
had some
well.
ups and downs here, as well as ups and downs at the Bulldogs, but he's on and up. Under Adam Simpson, he's regained his absolute confidence. He's one of the best kicks in the league. Hits targets nearly every time and knows where the goals are.
40 goals last year. He's in his 10th year of AFL football. He's a good pressure player as well. And right now the Eagles surging again. Prentice got it out of the middle, and Jack Darling, this is only, might just be beyond him, but here's a beautiful kick. Sets it to full forward. McGovern's found himself in the square. A great little two-parter there from McGovern. The set and the spike.
Well, you expect that move late in the quarters. We saw it during the NAB challenge. He'd go forward late in each at the end of each quarter and have an impact by hitting the score. Well, this is an excellent goal from McGovern. You got Prentice out of the middle, just gets a boots a ball. Darling playing in front, expecting a quick kick out, and then he just puts it to the spot. Andrews trying to fist this through, couldn't get anything on it, and McGovern with the soccer style. Nice work.
Smart play, good football, and just a reminder to everybody watching this with a view to meeting the Eagles down the track that they've got another arm in a very potent forward line.
They worked that one out. Natanui got it down to Shuey, but Rich was ready for it and in fact wins the free. Daniel Rich signing a 5-year contract during the week, which is good news for some stability for Brisbane, which is much needed given the recent history of players departing. Bastadak almost got through. Bell was there, Walker waiting in the wings.
Thanks, Andrew.
Lee Fisher, one of the umpires this afternoon. A good transition from being a Saint who suffered continual injuries.
Yeah, watching. Running the rocks, coming to the middle.
20-point margin, entertaining opening quarter. Great smother from Christensen, gave Bell the opportunity. And I think a little ambitious saying that was deliberately out of bounds.
Under a fair bit of pressure.
No want of asking, though, from the players. No. Very keen to put their hands up.
Plenty of appealing going on.
West Coast plenty back here. You can see Shuey by himself, Gaff and Lacroix.
Martin to Bell. Didn't trust his left boot. Worked it outside before they go in. Hanley, just the high set to the square. And the prominent fist from Shuey. And now Gaff tries out the right boot. Wasn't sure how many times he's tried it before.
I think that's the first time I've seen Gaff kick on his right leg.
I was surprised he kicked it, actually. He wasn't really under enormous pressure. He had Xavier Ellis there talking to him. Could have easily done the 1-2 on the hands, but...
Well, he's had 9 in this first quarter. Gaff, Prentice is up to 10 as well. So the key players, and that's important for Gaff to back up what he produced last year.
Howard gets a run at it. And it's going to be downfield.
Shaki will get a chance here.
So one of the two, Josh is up forward.
Time back on.
Josh Shaki. Jono.
Oh, he's an excellent shot at goal. This will go straight over the goal umpire's hat. Don't worry about that, Hutto.
Long run up.
Yeah, he is, but he's just so controlled. He's technically very, very good. for a set shot.
So as an 18-year-old, hopefully the first of many, many goals for the Brisbane Lions. Josh Jackie straight through, and the Lions come to play, and they get around the young man who begins his AFL career in fine style by getting a goal on the board in his first quarter.
Congratulations to him. Everybody's going to ride his career. He's got that position as the #1 recruit. I think everybody understands he's a gun at junior level, but the transition is never guaranteed. But he looks technically superb, Jono. You've seen him come through the ranks, and weren't the players anticipating that moment?
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? They come from everywhere, all the defenders pushed up to congratulate him as well. I love the courage in the lead from a young man, straight up the corridor. Makes it very dangerous too.
I'm not sure if a downfield free was the way he dreamed he'd kick his first goal, but
it won't matter.
He is certainly not complaining. Natanui trying something different, got it down lower to Pritis, but Tom Bell on the job at half-back. And haven't the draft players from last year that have played this weekend made an impact? We saw Oliver, unbelievable at the MCG yesterday, Jared, and of course Jacob Wiedering on Thursday night.
Yeah, it's a great group. They've had an amazing impact early in the piece.
And McGovern.
It is interesting, isn't it? Because the word was it possibly was a shallow draft last year. Well, we've seen a lot of them that were drafted have a huge impact so far.
Not shallow at the top end, was it?
No, definitely not.
But now, well done, hunted down by Hanley, who earned himself a free. It's not going to amount to much, but they've been really competitive in this opening term.
I've been impressed with the Lions. Obviously done a lot of work on their style, the system. It's breaking down occasionally, but lots to like about them. And the Eagles, well, they're getting the job done, and you'd expect them to be impressive.
A much better contest than many anticipated, so stay with us. 14 points the difference in favour of the home team. Quarter time. An entertaining 12-goal opening term at Domain Stadium in Perth. This was probably the most entertaining of all. Jeremy McGovern showing what a versatile player he is. Forward only briefly in that term and putting through a spectacular goal. Josh Kennedy certainly had him on numbers, 3 in the opening term. But Brisbane, very competitive, and it makes for a good contest this afternoon.
Yeah, it was an excellent start from both clubs, but in the end, it was Josh Kennedy's ability to just draw the ball time after time when West Coast were pushing forward. Brisbane's tackling ability was very good, though, at times.
Well, he's had his eye on the ruck contest this afternoon, Barry Hall. What'd you make of that opening term?
Yeah, we spoke about it pre-game. It's going to be an enthralling battle, and it certainly was. Steph Martin had 8 disposals that quarter. We know he gets it a lot around the ground, but it was in the ruck contest, which is the most interesting part for me. Steph Martin actually stepped off Nick Natanui in the boundary throw-ins, but it was more in the centre of the ground. It was the most interesting part. He actually stepped back and chose not to compete in the air with Nick Natanui. He probably thought, well, this guy's going to jump all over me and get the tap anyway. So he actually stayed down and tried to get the clearance himself from Nick Natanui's taps. It was an interesting tactic, but he did get a clearance from it. So he's trying all different sorts of things, and some of them are working at this stage.
Yeah, it's a good observation, Baz. Look at the taps, the hit-outs, 15 to hit-outs to advantage 6. Now, with such a dominance and the other guy, Steph Martin, not actually even competing, they need to be able to elevate that number of hit-outs to advantage, because simply he's got free rein. Yeah,
well, they would have had a good discussion there. Dean Cox would have had a good chat to Lysette and Natanui in the midfielders about where to go and what to do. So I think we'll know firsthand this first centre bounce of this second quarter what their plans are, because Steph Martin's like another midfielder. He gets that big body at the ground level. He's got good speed through the contest as well. So he's hoping for that once the ball hits the deck, that he can have an impact as a tall mid.
Jono, take us into the Eagles camp. They're well in front. They've got 7 goals on the board, but they've conceded 5.
Yeah, they'd be a little bit disappointed with that as well. But I think it's on the back of they're just trying to handle some of the tackling pressure that Brisbane have been able to put on.
Into the second quarter then from the Domain Stadium, and the aerial dominance of the hit-outs continues from Natanui. This time Lacroix gets to the spot to send them forward. Crowd for Kennedy to deal with, and Harris Andrews has beams going for him now. Cuts across with Cutler. Tries to dash off half-back and head to Martin. He's the path out of there this time. So they work their way all the way across half-back. And Buick providing a target for Gardner. Takes the grab. Where to from here? Just the short stuff. In fact, not far enough. Too short. Bastanak feigned on the left. Back onto the more comfortable right and finds Christensen.
1 metre. Back 1. Thank
He
you.
peers down the line. He's got Walker as a tall target. Even numbers, so it might be worth a shot. Falls a bit short. Oh, look at McGovern and his effort to get it down. Bastanak was well placed. His kick not so. Fumble from McKenzie. Eventually rights the ship, but took a little while. Cripps. Bennell playing a bit further up the ground.
Yeah,
takes the mark.
big grab from Bennell. That hits the deck. Brisbane probably score. That was so important that he was able to take that mark.
Well, they're really trying to drag the Lions defenders out of the zone so they can find a target down the middle, but they've done it well, forcing him wide.
Shepherd showed his marking ability last year. Gardner defied him on that occasion. Now Taylor. Oh, Leicester improvised on the run. Rich needs to bounce and very nearly got it.
It's good work by Leicester. Smart, just underneath. Knew the pressure was going to be right on him.
Wait for my call. Thank you.
So Shannon Hearn. Margin stands at 13. Nelson. Bell got to the ground, kept it inside 50.
Did everything right except overrun in the end.
Yes,
And another one from Buick.
Didn't have the surety at the right moment. Free kick and advantage, and the Eagles are away and they're through. And they can,
look at this.
Stepping stone over the top, get it down to Kennedy. It's just a matter of whether he wants to pass it over to Bennell or have the shot himself. Runs to the right spot. Can run pretty hard when you know what's coming up for you. And Bennell can just dribble it through. She's out the back again.
Great run from West Coast. The pure positive run. We saw that a couple of times in the first quarter as well. But we take it back a couple of steps, Jared, before and celebrate the goal first, because that's what it's about. We love seeing that. But it's the fact
there,
of and
overrunning that footy.
But they're senior players as well. Tom Bell and Buick were the two that ran over the ball, and West Coast were away. If they don't run over that ball, then all of a sudden they keep West Coast under some sort of pressure. They don't give their defenders a chance because of their inability to pick up that ground ball.
Jump to the footy.
Yeah, it's a really interesting observation. Lions are pressing up, trying to keep the ball inside their forward line, and they are anticipating when one of their senior players goes to the ball that it's going to go back into the forward line. If it leaks out, they're down on numbers.
Nananui did the ruck work and the roving, and then there's a bit of a clash, and they both come up sore. Advantage. Prentice tries to take that and put it out in front of Kennedy. Just got away from him at the last moment. Rich. Go to the man intended. McStay had a second crack at it. That was a better result. Now Bastanak bouncing, looking friendless at the moment. Eventually finds Walker as a target. He's ducked underneath that well. Read the flight of the ball, was alert to it, keeps it in, but back to the favourite. Butler puts on a terrific tackle. But just not quite coming together for the Brisbane Lions.
Bastanak even had probably more space to take another bounce and continue running through the middle of the ground. Even change his run a little bit rather than just staying focused towards the boundary line.
Natanui again. Well, Robertson went in head
Dropped
first.
it high there.
Yeah.
Critters. West Coast high, go through. Yeah.
He's prone to give away the odd free. Mitch Robinson.
Time, play on.
Shuey down along the line. Darling, well done, Andrew. Stayed with him every step. Lysette.
Good tackle. Wrapped him up. Had no chance getting rid of the ball.
Tommy Rockcliffe.
Thanks, boys.
26-year-old skipper now. Didn't play a NAB game. We set to play in Mackay, and then the Storm arrived. And it'll be interesting to know what sort of effect that had, that one less trot that both Brisbane and St Kilda.
And then their final game as well was in rain conditions, tough
And their
conditions.
first one was really windy. So
It was. They didn't get really anything out of the two games that they did play the Brisbane Lions due to the conditions.
Mitch Robinson off balance. And you can see the result.
Yeah,
Row 7.
Josh. Thank you.
You know, everything you practice over the summer, if it pelts with rain or the conditions are so tricky like they were in their first NAB, how windy it is, you just can't set up anything. So they take nothing away at all from that NAB challenge period.
Schofield. So they're doing pretty well, really, considering that. Nelson at half-back. Prestis last year, and
Move it on.
the games that he played, 11 games in all. And has played through the NAB challenge as well.
Well, West Coast were expecting it to be extremely wet today as well. They actually put the balls in the bucket of water throughout the week because their summer's been extremely hot, dry conditions.
Well, it rained all day here, evidently. It's just softened up the ground, and they were expecting a bit of moisture again today, but nothing's turned up.
Good flow out of defence. Lacrata half forward. Darling just seemed a little off balance. Regains it now, although he's pushed off it. Good strong play over the line by Cutler. Deliberate.
West Coast, straight over the line.
We've seen plenty of that over round one.
Move it on. Play on.
Prittis. And good strong work again by Gardner. Certainly hard at it. Hanley. Oh, it's a risky kick. Byrne. Oh, Kennedy's going to profit again.
No.
He's playing in a very handy spot today. Not to take anything away from him as a player as he rolls through his fourth goal.
Well, he's looking at double figures, I think. Luckily, we've got our man Anthony Hudson along with us, Jono, for the ride.
Especially when it gets into the teens, we look forward to that. But you feel sorry for him here because McStay, I mean, he's gone. He's thinking Hanley's going to use this well. I'll put Kennedy out of position, a turnover. Kennedy's eyes light up. How easy is that?
Well, it's most unlike Hanley. He's a fantastic kick. And he just hasn't assessed that one or struck it well. Oh.
They don't come much easier than that for Josh Kennedy. Look at the kicking efficiency.
Oh, that is brilliant play from Prittis.
Differential in this second term. He's surging again.
Oi.
McStay shows he can lead.
Nice 50.
It's enough to agitate Jack Darling. And the mouth wide open as he took that mark, as if he was going to swallow it.
Oh, yeah,
Hey!
He cheered himself.
Maybe he was commentating. McStay. Schofield at the back, and the Eagles defence on guard here. Gaff onto his trusty left.
That's a good kick.
For Duggan, who comes sliding in, knees first.
He looked like that mask out of what's the scary movies where... Have you seen those? I know what you did last summer.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Only just caught up with that one, John.
Yeah.
Kick goes back to the wing. Harris Andrews. Darling.
He's a bit lucky there, ducked.
Kennedy well up the ground.
One kick goals from there.
No.
Josh, get back down the other end.
He's running there at the moment as the Eagles.
Jeez, look at the power of work he's doing, Big Josh. Jeez, he's a great athlete.
Duggan. Kennedy's got forward. He can almost get to this. Cripps is going to beat him with a punch.
I don't think you could see it in the sun. Cripps did well. He's worked hard.
10 metres. That's right on it.
It's an amazing passage of play, just going back to that last centre bounce. Matthew Prittis did the 360, knew he was under some pump time-wise, but still laid it off.
In line with me, he's got 1 metre.
Followed up his Brownlow year by increasing his disposals, tackles, clearances, and Brownlow votes in the end, Matt Prittis. Here's Cripps for goal. Pokes it straight through the middle, and the Eagles are well and truly rolling. That's 10 goals for now, 64 to Brisbane, 5-3-33. And Matt Prittis is up to 18 disposals already.
Well, he's a fantastic player, as we all know, Matthew Prittis. Genius inside, in tight. But that's a game and a bold effort and a really brave mark as well.
You're right about being brave, because sometimes we attribute that to running back with the flight, but going low like that and keeping your eye on it in that situation.
Prittis racking them up, 8 kicks and 10 handballs.
Got 2 players now. Back the Eagles, the Lions, trying to just hold the stem.
Out of the middle, tough battle for Harwood.
Thanks, Ryan. Cheers, mate. Hold a metre. Play on.
Nothing doing for Ellis. Martin tried his best. Bennell firing out those handballs, getting them teammates into the clear. Duggan off the left. Preparation was good early from Yo, but Gardner was more than a match. No mark paid.
Yeah, it's an interesting call that. The umpire, I think, being a little bit kind there to the Brisbane Lions player. He would have known he didn't mark it, yet he is still elected to take it to the ground.
Good call, Jared.
I mean, it's a tough call, but it's professional football. You can't, you can't sort of play backyard rules.
It's a big backyard here at the main stadium.
It is.
It's kept in magnificent nick. It looks terrific this afternoon.
Best I've seen it in quite some time.
High on.
Butler, Prudis.
High on.
Putting their head down, trying to find a tunnel through.
His 20th disposal, if you don't mind. And we're not even close to half-time yet. Buick as they stretch out.
Oh, good pressure, Eagles. Pushed up. They've maintained possession well. There's obviously improvement here with this Brisbane Lions side, Jono, but you've got to be able to eke out the 100 minutes per game. At the moment, they've been competitive for about a quarter and a half, and then just a 2-minute gap every now and again. They drop away. Yeah, and when they drop away, they get hurt, don't they, on the scoreboard? So you're right. That's the growth of this collective group. The more they play together over the next 12 months or so, and they keep their key players out there, it's only going to help with their development as a football club. And this is why, good effort.
Beams.
Both players, really good effort.
Just back from injury. Let's hope he's okay. Getting up rather gingerly. And the Eagles through Redden. Steps inside. Benell's in there. Cripps will give it to him. No, he won't. Oh, did I? Yes, no. I'll do it myself. Sorry, mate. There's another goal.
Well, I think that was the right decision. He was well covered, and so he broke away the Lions defender, and that's a game effort by both players. Elliot Yeo didn't know it was coming, and neither did his opponent. But it's something that GWS need to address, Hutto, in a big way. The side that's made the grand final last year are doing it much better than them inside that forward 50. There's lessons to be learned for all clubs from opposition.
Clay Beams back for his first game since round 9 last year. Certainly hasn't lost his courage on the evidence of that.
So at the moment, inside forward 50, you've got Kennedy, Lysett and Jack Darling. So land of the Giants.
And it was that close to Shuey escaping from the middle there, Jono, wasn't it?
Just another look at the hit. Both players' eyes on the ball.
Come on, guys. Thank you. Out here.
Rockcliffe trying to stop Shuey run through for the Natanui tap, which pretty much always goes to him. Gee, smart work by Redden in tight, and suddenly they're on the outer circle and harder to restrain. Had to go all the way back though for Nelson, and Bennell, who's enjoying himself in this quarter. He's been playing more up the ground rather than a lockdown defensive role, which we've seen him in recent years.
I just knew that he knew that Shepherd was there.
Shepherd. Schofield, or something off the ball.
Yeah.
Right there.
Don't think they're happy with him either.
Mitch Robinson is the villain.
Leave it, guys. West Coast free kick, just leave it. West Coast kick. You got it. You've got it. Yep, Xavier. Mark's here. Time back on.
Ellis takes it.
Jesus,
Lysett waiting.
Problem,
Darling. Lysett got a piece of it on a couple of occasions. It's in a dangerous position. And now it's finally over.
Take a look. There's Alice there. Calling for it in the middle, number 18. Oh, accidental. I think it was accidental, Hutto. You're laughing at me, but...
I'm laughing a little bit, John.
Yeah, he didn't mean to...
It wasn't vicious.
No, it wasn't vicious at all.
The old accidentally on purpose.
Yeah, maybe.
You stay there, Fish.
And it's...
Thanks, Rowan. It's your
just
kick.
starting to boil a little bit here.
It's here, Mark's here. On midside. Time back on.
Brisbane do need to make a statement and stem the flow. West Coast have been racking up goals. They've kicked the last 4. It's got out to a 38-point margin now very quickly. Freeman bangs it to the wing. Natanui didn't get the run. Shepherd did. Natanui came down with it after his mate Shuey. Tries to angle the kick off the left.
Great kick.
And brilliantly done from Kennedy. Sends Cripps on the path for Darling.
Well, that's brilliant play from the Eagles, from Natanui's grab and handle.
He wants to go, sorry, Jared. He was waiting, and Jack Redden says, wouldn't mind kicking a goal in the West Coast jumper. And he's done it.
One of the better passages of play from the Eagles. They're all rapt to see Jack Redden get a goal. welcome him to the nest. But it's difficult for all players down at that end of the ground at the present time because the sun is just beating straight into their eyes. But it was a magnificent kick to Jack Darling and a fantastic passage of play all round. Let's have another look at this hit, Jono, for you.
There it is there. Look, nothing in that.
Well, unfortunately for Brisbane, you can see what's happened in this second term. 5 goals won, and just the solitary behind for the Lions. Christensen quickly off for Rich. That's a bullet of a kick to full forward. And out the back, the race is on. Freeman got Taylor there.
I reckon that's come off his thigh.
Yeah, good call.
Somehow try and get it to Taylor. Wasn't able to.
Damaging kick, though, isn't it? Daniel Rich's kick. If he can get more of those going, they are going to be a much better side.
Matanui
just barged his way forward to take a contested mark.
And trying to get going again from halfback Shuey.
Good tackle. Really good tackle.
Really constrained there by Alan Christensen.
Well, it's tough now if you're a Lions player. The gap on the scoreboard's getting to such an extent where they're thinking, well, we're just going through the motions, but
Bell almost.
They are hanging in there.
It is deflating. Justin Lepich talked about that they had to take risks to score, and I think knowing that this can happen. As you said, they've got to play footy that sets them up for the future. Greg Swan in the background behind Justin Lepich. Long-time football administrator. A little bit of blood there, Jono.
Freeman just coming off on the shorts as well, so he'll have to replace them as well.
Just haven't been able to find the ball in this quarter. 31 possessions to 74. Inside 50s 5 to 10, so it's really been limited for their forward line.
Walker trying to do the ruck work.
Just haven't been able to get the first possession, Jono, to set up the second and third possession. If you look at the handball receives, it's 10 to 28.
We spoke it just after quarter time, the fact that West Coast would have been disappointed to concede 5. So that they've got their own mental drive as well. That would have been set from their coach Adam Simpson to restrict the impact of Brisbane's ball going forward. They've achieved it so far.
11th possession for Pritis in this term. He's just ball magnet at the moment.
Through the midst of Harris Andrews, didn't help. That's a throw. So Andrews can send it deep into the forward line. And again, cutting off all the angles, which he's so good at. McGovern takes the mark and sets them running from centre half back. Hearn, they going either side. He's just said, just calm for a moment. Cross to Shepherd, building the blocks. He had Redden through the middle. He didn't spot him. Instead, he's gone out wide. Redden now makes position as they advance through the wing. Back inside to Shepherd again. Was cornered. So back to Redden. Low ball is a good ball for Lacroix. It's a more patient build-up this time from West Coast.
Jack Redden would be seeing a different side of footy, Jono.
Oh, yeah, different structure.
Well,
excellent players around him as well, which are going to continue to bring him back into the contest.
No mark for Hill. Bennell again, they're through. Kennedy, how's his left boot working?
Not well.
No, could be better. Lysette didn't mind it though. Almost took it. Well done, defied by Martin Yeo. Back to the top of the square. And it's all Brisbane there as Gaff went into the turf.
I think you'll find a lot more. You'll find a lot more easily getting the ball in his hands than when he was at the Brisbane Lions.
Harris Andrews drives out. Well done for Tom Bell. Just found it hard to get into the game so far.
Well done.
Rich. Lewis Taylor. Combat came from Schofield. Shepherd. They get it out. Natanui couldn't break the Rich wraparound.
Holding the ball. On the football. Brisbane. Thanks, Lawrence. You got it.
You weren't the only one to say, oh, around the ground.
Breaks it open. Away they go.
Stephen Martin, well done by Lysette. Crowd certainly appreciated. Martin wore one, he knew it was coming, but it helped his team. Unfortunately, Bell didn't have the same awareness. The handball wasn't meant for him. He just saw a ball and unfortunately intervened. And for Brisbane, it meant an opportunity has passed. Solid stuff from McGovern. Eagles fans like that, I think.
Fair bump.
Freeman about to come back on, boys, from that blood rule, and Clay Beams has just entered the game again.
Of course, Dane Beams out for an indefinite period. Got over all his shoulder issues. He's now got the knee tendonitis. Hopefully it won't be as bad as the worst fears, which would be mid-season. Hard one to diagnose as to how long it's going to take. Gaff. Kenzie.
I don't think Shepherd's moved from this spot for about 7 minutes. Just keeps coming through him as an outlet, and Brisbane keep kicking the ball back to him.
Prentice turns instantly. Schofield was out of his reach, but time on his side. Angles it up for Bennell, and now Yo steps inside the 50 and steps up with a poster.
Flush. Hit absolutely flush. It was a great hit from about 52 metres from Yo.
She's got a feel for Mitch Robinson at the present time. He's up against Matthew Prentice. He's having to press up and try and put pressure on guys who then handball it to Matthew Prentice. But Prentice himself is in front and just dominating stoppages.
Oh, look
away.
at that.
He got to his feet in an instant and he was gone in a flash to full forward. Trying hard to give Lysette a goal. Hill, swing and a miss. Just outside off stump. Beams, not 15.
15.
It was about 25. Kick back to the middle. Shackey flies against 3 Eagles. Taylor. Now Christensen's out the back. Bell's got to hit him. Sets him on the path to goal. Didn't really do him a lot of favours. The bounce was fine. Oh, no, it wasn't. He let it bounce a second time.
One again.
And another beheading. Christensen.
Yes, that's his 3rd one today.
Got the 3rd most free kicks in the AFL last year on average.
I'm back on. Come out, boys.
Not sure where he learnt that from.
No.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, no worries. Alan, right here.
Just the 3 touches in this term. He's backed off his possession rate. This one will help.
And just what Brisbane needed, a goal to stem the flow.
Just their 7th inside 50 for the quarter, Jono. Multiply that by 4. 28's not going to get the job done.
But they won it clean at ground level, and if they're able to do that, then it puts them in position. It's the first time you see Christensen going back. Walker's been good at getting back in behind. Shackey was there as well. He's just there. Look at that. Good eye contact between the
Look into my eyes.
Between the players. It's got to be clean.
This side, guys.
Had to lay a lot of tackles in this quarter, Brisbane, because West Coast have quite often had the footy and running towards goal. But that's a very handy goal. Cripps pops up. Kennedy's on offer for him here. McStay couldn't get there in time. And Kennedy to line up for his 5th.
He slots this one. He's on track for double figures.
Yep, that's it.
And Hutto's warming up, Jono.
Yes.
15 seconds.
Just a nice little build for Hutto today. He loves it from this range, though, Kennedy.
Kicked double figures 3 times before, so he's done it a lot of times.
And not the best strike in the world that time.
No.
Gardner stripped of it. Crowd wanted ball. Buick. Helicopter kick out of there. Lewis Taylor outside. Well cleaned up, though, by Freeman. Got it to Robinson. Hanley. Oh, the legs were pumping from Taylor. Just forgot the ball. Shuey as things change and flow back the other way. Gaff saw Duggan. And it's time to settle and pump it high again towards full forward. He might get it. No, he doesn't, Kennedy.
Not his best kick, Liam Duggan. He's got to work out his limitations. He didn't centre that ball. But it was really a 100 to 1 chance.
Oh, they just can't get it out of there, Brisbane. It's just a matter of who it's going to finish with. Oh, Shuey buffeted it away
Killer
strongly.
handballs. That was just a gimme.
Hanley desperate to lay it off. Eventually Mays obliges. And now Bell back to him again. Ambitious handball. Eagles everywhere. Overwhelmed. Shepherd. Oh, smothered. They come with a rush. Lester, Bell, Taylor. Inside 50. Walker in the prime spot. Had to pass to him. And in the end, he lets it bounce through for a goal. Oh. Got the desired result, Jono, but there was a degree of uncertainty about it.
Yeah, look, he's had a shot. He's backed himself in. He did have Walker all by himself running into an open goal square. So he may say that he saw him there, but it was the back of good pressure there. 3 Brisbane Lion players were able to perform the smother, get the ball going their way. Taylor here just lines them up, launches over the top. There's Walker, was there for an eternity. Knew where the goals were, let it go, so his teammate could score.
Really, do you let that go or do you take the mark? I mean, we've seen the ball bounce back into play several times.
I think he should have passed the ball full stop, to be honest.
No, you're right there. Robinson.
Our vision showed he was under a little bit of pressure, but when he first got the ball, he was 20 metres clear. They'll address that. They may have different team rules.
They've kicked the last 2, so maybe a sprout or 2 for the quarter. It can produce some more. Took them on again, Taylor. Got the handball away when it mattered. Lester tried to come up with something. Freeman wasn't quite ready for it. Duggan with a careful kick.
That's 15 for British.
For the quarter. 16 now for the quarter.
That was my next question, Jerry. What do you do with Prentice? Do you persist with Robinson? He's at 27 now.
I'd tell Robinson to go and get his own ball at the moment. He's spending a lot of time trying to stop Prentice. He's unstoppable at the moment. He might as well try and get 15 of his own. Try and neutralise him by getting your own footy rather than trying to stop his.
Hold there. Hey, sorry. Play on. Play on.
Duggan's just collecting numbers at the moment.
It's not bad. Round 1, you can go in at half time. You've got 27 on the board. Possibly you could get 30 possessions in a half of football.
Can you retire halfway
Oh.
through? Gaff.
Please, umpire.
Trying to keep it in.
Of course he was. And the ball would have... He actually had to work hard to keep the ball in, and people are appealing. So Prentice is actually going to Rockcliffe. And Robinson's with Yo just at that stoppage.
That's 28. And it's all West Coast Hill. Does he wait for Kennedy or Darling? He'll be the man to go to.
Jamie,
28,
take him out,
9
Jamie.
Clearances with that. We just need Matty Prentice to run forward in the second half of this game and just kick a couple of goals to give us something else to talk about with him, because the main aspect of his game, he is absolutely dominated.
Stay next to him, Sam. You've got to be next to him, mate. Yeah, you've got to be 2.
From this spot here, Jack Darling, 5 goals.
Missed the share as well. But that one's right on target.
Well, to put it into perspective, Matt Prentice has had 91 champion data rankings points to half-time. Well, almost half-time.
Yeah.
That's a big day. Josh Kennedy's up around 88, Nat Nui at 77. There's some players out there having huge afternoons or evenings at the present time. "19 effective disposals, 17 contested possessions. He had a number of centre clearance takeaways. He's doing it all at the moment.
Look at those uncontested numbers.
100 to 38, just in this quarter.
Nui again, spectacular to get it down. Shuey just got it out of there as soon as he could. Cutler trying to fight for Brisbane. It's hard going at the moment. They're surging again. Nick Nat thought he could take on the world, and he almost could. Handball beams, confronted by Kennedy. Did well not to give away the free. On again. Harwood just heaved it onto the boot.
And so often, as we see, the heave, the hack, comes back over your head.
With a hoe.
Oh, big barrel. Take it on, Sammy. Yes, have a crack, yes. He's only one, Hunter.
No, is he going to?
He's going to have a go, but...
What's your prediction, Jono?
Nah, this will spray probably to the middle of the ground somewhere. He's not even going to do it, is he? No. Oh, let down.
Now the crowd and the players can have a bit of a smile, particularly if you're a West Coast fan. They've got right on top in that term. High-scoring contest. West Coast 13-7, 85 at half-time. That man has almost 30 disposals in a half. Brisbane 7-4, 46. The margin is 39.
He was trying to step out of the way. He's watching the ball. He didn't line Alice up at all and bump him in the middle of the back. He was trying to get out of the way. For me.
No, fair enough. Some extraordinary differences in the numbers, isn't there, with 230 disposals to 154. Something like 50 more kicks.
It's the uncontested possession, I think, that went through the roof in that in that second quarter. They had over 100, the West Coast Eagles, in a quarter of football, uncontested ball, which is just your spread from the contest and being able to get numbers and outnumber the Brisbane Lions on a regular basis.
So we are on world record watch at this stage. At the moment, Matthew Prittis is on pace to break the record of 53 possessions in a game. And at the moment, at 29, he's looking as if he's a dead-set chance. And of course, Hutto's very keen for Josh Kennedy to up the ante as far as the goals are concerned.
Prittis has a PB of 45 as well, Jared.
So just 24 required in a half to equal the record.
I think we're also looking for just improvement all round, just to see how the Eagles combat interesting tactics from the Lions as far as the centre clearances are concerned. The Lions have done pretty well in there, with Steph Martin avoiding contact on a number of occasions. He's had a pretty good game himself, but Nat Nui has taken the honours to this point. We've got a couple of players that need to push through the barrier, like Rockcliffe and Christensen, who have had interrupted pre-seasons. Got some youngsters for the Eagles trying to just get that little bit better with each and every week that passes as they try and get another crack at a finals campaign.
Third quarter underway from Domain Stadium. Begins like the last one finished, with Nick Natanui grabbing it out of the middle, sending them forward, thrusting the Eagles into the dangerous area again. Off the hands, Bernal. He's had a terrific afternoon, released from the shackles of defence.
Brisbane need to really work out, Hutto, who's going up, who's staying on the ground when it comes to a high ball in from West Coast, and that's a poor kick out.
Yeah, Cutler's error. In fact, it might have been Gardner.
Not the way you want to start when you come out all revved up. You've had a chance to reset. Jamie Cripps gets an opportunity to get his third goal. Another fine first half from Jamie Cripps. Terrific season last year. Unheralded in many ways, but absolutely.
Much loved at the Eagles. They know what he can do, and he can help teammates, but he can kick goals himself, and that's his third.
Well, they can't give them back like that, Jono. There's too hard to try and stop them if you're going to gift them like that.
Yeah, well, it was Cutler with that kick out. Robinson telling him to get up. And that's good intercept there from Cripps. Look, he gets on the scoreboard. He works hard defensively as well. That was what he was able to build his game on last year. And then he got the confidence as it went on as well to push forward and be an attacking player as well.
Gee, the Saints wouldn't mind having Tom Lynch and Jamie Cripps in their forward line with a couple
of skeletons in their closet there.
Centre bounce, Natanui a free run again, got the tap down, Prittis. There's number 30. Nick Nat getting busy, flicks it out to the wing, running to get it back again. Here he is, bounding forward. Wasn't clean from Prittis. Natanui fires out the handball.
Well, that's a tunnel. Got to be careful there.
Could have been a free kick against Shuey.
Scrappy that from West Coast. Their normal clean selves.
I still think they can do better at the centre clearance. They haven't quite worked out what they're going to do. Got to work a little bit on the wider ring and get some pop taps like you see Sandlands doing to Fife when they're at their best.
Rich digs it out for Beams, knew what was coming, braced himself and got the handball moving. Robinson's had plenty of the footy. They have overdone a handball here. Are they out or not? Not quite. Now they are. Howard to Christensen. Didn't tame it. He had good backup. Mays swoops. Running forward. He's Lester. He wore one. Got it off to Rich. His left foot is wide, but okay.
That's polished football from the Brisbane Lions. All done on the back of a good intercept across half-back. And then they just had clean ball movement, Jono. That's impressive.
Oh, it was very good. I think Rich would be a little disappointed in the kick.
Rockcliffe, as a result, had a little bit of angle to deal with.
For that reason, because he put Rockcliffe into the pocket where he should have just marked it in the goal square. Because he was over the top all by himself. So if Rich had his time again, I think he would have been able to spot Rockcliffe up in a better position.
If Rockcliffe had his time again, would he do a drop punt?
Yes, definitely. I think with the margin you can have where the man on the mark is now in the space around, just step inside and then perform a drop punt.
They gather and then spread from centre half back, the Eagles. Cripps slated off to Lacroix.
Kennedy's on if he gets
Hill's there. Can he get to his feet quickly? He can. Via Bennell, who chips it for Kennedy. McStay got a run at it. He did well. Broke even and now wins the battle and comes away with the football.
Well done.
Tough one for Bastanak to deal with, but under the circumstances, did an excellent job. Martin's got Robinson running, and now Hanley can relish the space out here on the wing. Had good awareness, was about to be mown down, finds Rich, who still needs to keep it moving because Taylor at half forward has Hanley to help him. Walker demanding it, screaming for it in the pocket. They've given McGovern a chance to look at it, and he's so good at that.
Yeah, brilliant.
Just had to get it there with more speed.
Well, I think
Easy to say from here.
Adam Simpson be really pleased with this quarter, the way they're going forward, but I think what we're seeing is that scoreboard impact, Jono. We're not seeing the same desperation to get numbers back if they lose the ball.
Natanui against Walker. One on hands down. Yo kicks it back to the wing. Even numbers there. Good spoil from McStay.
Hold the meter.
He's getting a good education as a footballer, isn't he? Last year playing up forward. Back to defence this year.
Play on.
Of course, Daniel Merritt, a late withdrawal for Brisbane, was crook. Lucky his cheer squad didn't come all the way to Perth.
Yes.
Gardner escapes from Hill. Meticulous kick, or was it off hands? Buick.
Well, they're little things they've got to improve on if they're going to get better and take on some of those sides north of them on the ladder. Those little kicks have just got to hit targets. Can't keep giving the ball back.
Play on.
Yo. Skies it. Darling. I'm trying to work out where it was going to pitch. Kennedy. Oh, gee, if that wasn't out of bounds, it was extremely close. Maybe not quite as far into the crowd as Elliott's was last year at the MCG. Pushing the mark. Paparone. Driving for Shackey, giving him a challenge against Shannon Hearn. Robinson. Beams. Used the presence of Taylor and then eventually gives to him.
Oh, good chase from the big man.
To arch the back to get it further afield. Lester. Can't get it deep enough for their forwards are behind the web. The defenders that are spread out, so it's taken all this time to get it across. So they look up now. Bastanak, does he pump it? No, three-quarter kick for Martin. They got each other's road. Bell. Lester tried to get to his feet. Gaff was able to ride in successfully.
Oh, disappointing. Very disappointing. Steph Martin needed a bit more awareness, I think, in that contest. Made the spoil on his own teammate.
Brisbane
oh, here we
kick.
go. What's happened here?
Reversal. Knocked him to ground. You knocked him to ground.
Oh. And Tom Rockcliffe, the winner out of this.
Yeah, no doubt. He says thank you very much.
One of their players got taken to ground. I got actually marked.
Seemed to be an incident with Lysett and Robinson.
Funny to see Mitch Robinson involved, isn't it? Tom Rockcliffe certainly not complaining. He puts it through.
Well, Robinson and Shuey are having a chat about it at the moment. Now Schofield's in there having a chat with Robinson about, I think, the way he may have gone to ground. But anyway, the free kick was paid, and they're still going on about it, actually. The free kick was paid. Rockcliffe was just standing all by himself, and they were able to get one of the easiest goals that they've scored tonight.
Bit of Russian roulette going on at the present time. Attack one way and then attack the next.
They've had much more of the footy in this third term, and particularly the uncontested nature we see there, and they've actually used it well.
Yeah, the pressure of the Eagles in defence has dropped off big time.
Mitch Robinson
Mitch Robinson, Brisbane.
getting another free. He's the darling of the umpires at the moment. We
Well,
haven't
he's on
seen that.
fire at the moment. He's had 5 already.
I don't think the crowd are too keen on him, just quietly, or not so quietly. High ball inside 50, that's just easy fodder
Yeah, poor kick.
for McGovern. With the big mitts up.
Yours.
And Jeremy kicks it out to half-back. Shuey was the target. Quite get the launch right, Luke Shuey, but the rest was pretty good. Charging across.
1-2.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Oh.
He did well then, because Robinson was coming to put body pressure on to take his run away. He just fought through that. Just couldn't get the handball back to allow him to run on.
So the margin is 40. Only gained a point on the lines in this quarter. Redden. Dug out by Lyset, but Hearn a slight fumble.
That's dropping the ball.
Bastanak in there, in the thick of it again. He's doing quite well on debut for Brisbane. It's Ryan Bastanak.
Keep that meter, guys.
They had one arm pinned. He hacked it out. Ball hit the ground before it hit his boot. We get another throw up. Haven't been a lot of stoppages. Incredible reduction in stoppages across the board so far in round one.
Oh, the crowd stay was high in the air. That has gone straight up and down in the tunnel. It might land in the same spot. Not sure I've ever seen that before from Cripps.
Kennedy.
LaCroix settled, and Paparoma's on the job. Takes
Better
the mark.
work, just covering off. They read what he was going to do.
And here's Bastanak, well positioned at halfback. Not sure Stephen Martin was expecting that, but it ends well and might turn into something more promising now as Bell indulged in a bounce. It may have been an unnecessary one. Gets it back from Robinson, who's in everything at the moment. Turnover costly, very costly. Full price to be paid. And guess who? Josh Kennedy.
Over the top again. They got numbers everywhere, Hutto.
Yeah, and it's Elliot Yeo with a happy Easter over the top.
So here's the lesson. Obviously, the turnover. Let's move on from that. The most impressive element of that passage of play was Josh Kennedy. He's a guy that could win a medal at the end of the year for the amount of goals he kicks. He could kick a dozen today if he really wanted to be selfish. And he's got every right, if he wants to have a crack here. This is high percentage area. Yet he doesn't even think twice about it. That's pure team football.
Time your late, guys. Straight back.
And that is pure frustration.
There it is.
Well, it's just a simple mistake, a turnover from Tom Bell. And it's a goal gone begging the other way because they were set.
And it's back to 46. Martin comes at it this time. But Duggan with the escape. The Eagles getting each other's way. Butler scrapping hard. Here's Tom Bell again, getting the big body over the ball. Digging in. Got one high. Apparently advantage paid. Bastanak for Walker. Has a little look over the shoulder and can't take the mark. Might regret that now.
Right.
The non-controller paid the free.
Absolute throw.
Keep out, Andrew. Keep out.
Schofield, just that little thing again. Walker couldn't get there for the mark and then made life difficult for himself. Natanui pinched it from Martin, not paid. Paparone, high ball. McGovern comes at it, but can't stop the mark from Shaki. Good stuff.
Thank you. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Daniel.
OK, Jono, technically pure. You're going to declare him?
100%.
He'll be right on him, right behind him, until he misses his first one.
Yes, that's right.
It's a terrific contested mark and just a sign of what's to come with this man. Still just 18 years of age. Josh Shaki. It's a beautiful kick. And sails through for his second goal.
And stay with us, folks, because Jono will be giving out the Tats Lotto numbers at some stage before the coverage. Here's a bit of friendly fire there.
He's feeling pretty good about his predictions, it's fair to say, at the moment, Jared.
Well, after putting the blade through Freo and being proved correct this morning, he has followed up with a big double-up prediction on Josh Shackey and has yet to fail us.
How relaxed is his technique, though, Hutto? When you look through it, he's just really relaxed. He got good technique and comes through the footy in a straight line. That's what's impressive about it.
2 goals each. Your demonstration here in the commentary box is very impressive as well.
Particularly for a right footer. He's got an unusual longish first step. But he's very balanced.
Hold the meter.
And he's going to be a fantastic player for the Brisbane Lions long term.
Ananui down to Hearn. Martin scrambles it out of there, just out of the reach of the flying Freeman. Butler out for Darling.
Hold.
And then Duggan.
High on.
Kennedy's deep.
High on.
Doesn't go in his direction. Instead, it's Lysette in the frame. Can't mark. Well defied by Andrews. Cutler came hard. Robinson again, just the initial touch was just off. And from there, it was going to be difficult. Play beams. Britis has quietened off a bit in this third quarter. Only 4 disposals for the term.
It's not good enough, Hutto. Facing time on the bench if he keeps that up.
33 for the match if you've just joined us. Natanui got the tap. It was about to be 34, but Robinson beat him again. Flicked it out. Now Hanley's running, and they're going forward with some purpose. Into the space. Daniel Rich waiting, and a nice little move to the left. He just hesitated on the kick. Maybe thought he could kick it himself. And you know what? He could. What a goal from Daniel Rich.
Well, that is just fantastic footy. Great finish. It was fantastic that he took the game on himself, took responsibility. He ran his full measure, got to be said.
Just a nice little shimmy, wasn't it? That just
Yeah, I reckon about
enabled him to get
25
that metre
metres,
on McKenzie.
About 25.
Yeah, that's okay.
But he still got it through.
Lever's happy now.
Thanks, guys.
They could turn around quickly. They've kicked the last 2 goals. From the frustration of Justin Lepich. He's enthused now.
And that's a big turnaround, the uncontested possession. West Coast had 100 in the second quarter. To now be able to turn that around, the Brisbane, after a focus at half-time for sure from Lepich on what they needed to do, that's why he's happy. That's why they're getting the reward now, because they're starting to lead that area.
And Mitch Robinson's been outstanding in this quarter with 8 disposals. Gee, that looked every bit of 15. Gaff to Natanui, surging again, looking for someone to give it to. It wasn't a great choice, so he goes to make amends. And his next tackle wasn't any better. Rich, and suddenly the Lions are ready to spring again off halfback. Hanley and Christensen's out. He's ready to run.
They are counter-punching beautifully at the moment.
Well, he takes it. Maybe from goal. Got Shackey or... Oh, I don't know, or nothing.
No.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to get the ball to Freeman, but...
I think Shackey's got the thing that Shackey will learn in that situation is just a running pattern to lose his direct opponent to make it easier for him. He should be taking that uncontested mark inside 50 with that type of ball movement from Brisbane.
McKenzie, and a quietish return for him.
Haven't locked the ball in their forward half at all so far this term. The Eagles, they've just been able to have it leak out, and they're getting crucified on the way through.
Britis starting to find it again, and here they are on the break. Going to be hard to stop here. Shuey is running hard, waiting for it. Harwood will try and stop him. The kick into the sky, and Shuey couldn't mark it, but he can share it.
Beautiful.
And it's Ellis this time that runs in another goal for the West Coast Eagles. And that team first approach is there again.
Yeah, there was no hook around the corner, no goal of the year attempt, just a nice basic handball, and the score was on the board.
The ability to win a strong one-on-one ball. Keep your feet in this situation as well, because he's got a Brisbane defender coming hard, coming back onto him strong, puts pressure on him when he does jump, lands on his feet, first possession win, over the top. This is a great view from our position, commentator Cam. And look at that, Alice with the work rate, good handball.
The ground ball still where the Eagles have the edge in this quarter. A fumble again from Yeo, scrambled forward, but not for long. Shepherd. 3 goals each in this term. Just past the halfway mark, but again, a high-scoring contest it is. Scores are up over the weekend.
Well, these scores, like 16 goals to 10, was a full game last year.
Yep.
Well, for some sides, it was a month.
Yeah.
I mean, what's been brilliant has been the stoppage numbers. They are down about 35%.
Shepherd, and again waiting for a Duggan. Good protection by Yeo, allowed him to get through. Got down, up again.
Nice
swing
move.
onto the left, had them guessing. And guess who came into the frame? Kennedy.
Young player to perform a move like that and then composed by foot.
Still, maybe didn't.
Not the right option, was it?
No, not in the end.
Two-team focus there.
Good move by Duggan, though. We like the young man coming through. Thought he was terrific in the first half of the season last year. Ran into some injury problems, and if they're going to win a flag, they've got to get better, and he would be part of the coach's thinking.
Pick 11 in the 2014 draft, Liam Duggan.
Well, that was smart.
It was. Adjusted it beautifully for Gaff, who again got that right foot working.
It was a better one that time.
It was, and LeCras. Oh, and it's 50.
It's a lovely 50 from that angle.
Oh, isn't it?
And no one on the mark. That'll annoy Justin.
Yeah, that will. This will actually. If LeCras. Oh no, here we go. The stays noticed it.
5 metres, please.
Just walk back through the protected area, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, look, he's looking at the scoreboard. He's going to take his 30 seconds here.
I'll come in.
He's taken his full time. No need to hurry.
And through she goes for another one for West Coast.
Are you thinking, Jono, that they're using the goal clock as a method of just resting up a bit?
That was in that instance, no question whatsoever. He actually was too close to take 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That was his only problem with it all. But once he was set here, the clock starts, a 30-second clock, and his teammates, I think, actually gave him the idea to just, hey, let's just take 15 seconds here, give ourselves a bit more of a spell.
Time your left, guys. Straight back.
So it's back to 46 points. Now the Eagles kick a couple in a row.
Play on. Play on.
Labouring hard at time against Lysette. The head over the ball. He could be on it. Comes out the other side. So that's okay.
Mine. Thank you. This side. Thanks, Ryan.
Eagles
Hold the
dominated
leg
the
up.
contested
Thank
ball
you.
in this quarter, 27-16. But
Play on.
it's the uncontested stuff where Brisbane have moved it and hit more targets. That's helped them stay in the quarter. That's not going to help. Bastanak
West Coast.
caught red-handed.
No, stay there. Play on. George.
Quick kick in from Cripps towards Natanui.
Oh,
Just
big fly.
glided through the air and takes the mark.
He's looking pretty fit, Jono.
Yes, looking excellent.
15 seconds gone. 15 gone.
.16 disposals, 4 marks for Nick Natanui. And for his second goal, not a problem.
It's a good disposal rate, isn't it, for Nat Nui? What are we at? The 21-minute mark of the third quarter. He's had 16. If he gets 17 now, he'll get that over at 20 for sure, which is a big number in terms of possessions. He's only had the 4 kicks, but 100%. A couple of goals to go with that as well. So it's been another good battle with Stefan Martin, but he's probably just shading him at the present.
best game of 2015 disposal-wise, Jono, was 16.
There you go.
He's already beaten that in round one, and we're not even at three-quarter time. Robinson with 21 disposals has the most for Brisbane. As the combat resumes in the middle.
Fine. Coming out that side, guys, to the middle. Out here.
Oh, good spin.
Rockcliffe gets it out. Sends them on their way. Oh, Hanley.
It's called the Sharon.
Handicapped by the bounce.
Wasn't the best handball coming from Eric McKenzie. He'd be just thrilled to be back out there, though.
We're hoping for better luck this time. Trademark run from Louis Taylor. Unfortunately, the kick, not what he had in mind.
It's okay to take it on. I think he's arguing a little bit here, but I think the key to him is while he is going hard, he's still got to swivel that head just to look. If it's there, great, he'll pull the trigger and hit that ball. You can still do that running flat out, knowing that your end result might be that shot at goal anyway.
Kenzie, careful ball use. Oh, Cripps. Rare little fumble. She's over.
Throw it in. Keep the meter, Steph.
Matty Prittis on 35 disposals. He's had a spell on the bench. He's back out there again. 5.5 to go.
Probably want to finish in the 40s, Hutto, to give himself a big chance at the world record.
Bit of pinball. Rockcliffe, tough for Buick. Nice little fend from Redden.
Well, that is... And the umpires can't see it because he's buried 4 deep in players, but he basically just flicked that out with the one hand.
Rugby union style, wasn't it?
Yep.
Keep your meter, guys. 1 metre.
Haven't seen anywhere near as much of that sort of stuff, though.
No, it is.
It's just a pleasure to watch footy when it's a bit more free-flowing. Head down from Robinson. Cripps, slap it out of there. Wouldn't go. Lysette, oh, he almost took off Rich's head.
Oh, it's good tackling.
All in love and war. Redden out the back. Shepherd looking for another release. Had to go back to Schofield. Was being manned by Shackey. Clever enough to get out, though. There's Prittis teaming up with Gav. Watch out. He knew it. Well done by young Nelson. Cross to Shepherd.
Would have been great voice from Shepherd.
Good effort from McGovern. It's a good stoush there.
It's stiff there, McGovern.
Bastanak through the middle. McGovern had some frustrations. He's trying to take out on him. Instead, it's Mays driving long for Shackey.
Great kick from Mays and a good turnaround from the Lions.
Freeman is in the square, but he's gone short instead to Lester. Had to be a free. No, not paid. Against Bastanak. Dodge one there. Shepherd.
It's unusual to see the Eagles kick the ball out of the fence without looking up.
Oh, Darling made amends for that. Put the tackle on Paparone.
Let's go, Eagles. Mark's here.
And it's Jack Darling's ball at half back.
Yep. Go, mate.
Plays just a little bit slow as they look to move back down the ground.
Well, they'll be looking for Elliot Yeo on a one-on-one here.
Holding Elliot Yeo.
Yep. I knew they had the jumping Elliot Yeo there to contend with.
Mark's here. Time on. Play on.
Gardner conceding the free.
Yep.
Big kick.
Players on their own.
Well, whose number's going to come up in the raffle? It could have been Alice's. Benal hits it hard. He's handball to the voice of Shuey. Not quite on target. So Bell can storm away. Needed some assistance.
Oh, big tackle.
And
not only tried to go back through one, it was a double whammy. And Luke Shuey, who continues to rack up possessions and the kilometres, he's working really hard, gets this one. Good tackle, came in with the shoulder and the legs. And that's Shannon Hearn in there for company.
Here's Redden. Out wide for Schofield. Down to the last 3 minutes. Kennedy up against 3. Hands to the head as soon as it came off the boot. And Justin Lepich has a similar pose.
Going to swap on the point, Fish.
Have a shot here, Jono. Is it top of the square?
No, top of the square.
Play on.
Oh, Hill.
Brilliant.
Skim the pack, pops it through.
Smart kick by Cripps. He actually picked out Darling. He waited for him just to drift back around into that space, and he was unlucky not to mark it. But in the end, Josh Hill was there to capitalise once again. But here it is here. This is the out in the full to start. So Steph Martin kicks off the ground, and out it goes. And just the chip in there, you see Jack Darling just pop into the hole, had his arm chopped, that's why he dropped it, and Josh Hill in the right spot.
Wasn't as high a kick as you often see, was it?
No, it was a very smart kick.
This is a great grab, though, wasn't it, from Josh Hill? That was just polish.
Thanks, Daniel.
Exquisite stuff and great, perfectly captured by the camera.
Adenui does it again out of the middle of the armchair ride for Shuey. Somehow they eluded Pritis in all of that.
We noticed that.
Yeah, just stuck on 36. Here's Hill stretching out again. Popped it over for Kennedy. The bounce, not bad. And got crunched well.
Just hasn't quite fallen for him, the opening of the woes.
But now he's got to combat 4 here, and the numbers too great. The task too much. Rockcliffe for Martin, who's pushing, trying to cause some havoc on the way out.
Intercept.
Howard, there's Shepherd cutting across.
Well, he's been stiff on a number of occasions.
Oh, Bennell bumped him into him then.
It was this cannon.
It was. There, into him. Otherwise, he scores.
You can see the thinking of Bennell, though, because he was thinking over the top.
Over the top.
Shuey again. It was a clean exit initially from the stoppage, but well done for Brisbane. Nelson manufactured something out of that. Hill kept it in. Probably because of the new rule, and there's Brisbane players everywhere.
Hasn't that been a success? People worrying about 1 or 2 individual argumentative decisions.
The overall impact is terrific.
Impact is superb.
Josh Walker back on the ground, takes the mark, much to the displeasure of Jared Schofield on the mark.
Kicked one earlier in the game, and then second quarter, they just couldn't get it over or enough ball in his direction.
Could easily have 3 or 4, couldn't he?
Easy.
Definitely.
15 seconds gone.
For McCat. Pops it through, goalpost high. So they continue to score, Brisbane, to 11 goals for the match. Coming up to 3/4 time, but unfortunately, if you're a Lions fan, they've just given up a few too many.
That's the key there. It was a good spot by Leicester at the contest, and then he was just able to look up. Walker's already had made his move to push forward in behind Schofield. So that's the key for me. Consistently, if they're clean at the bottom at the pack, at the coalface of the contest, then they'll be okay, Brisbane. They will continue to score. They will continue to push through the 70s, 80s, 90s with scoring every week.
Adenui getting more jumping practice. Well done, Bastanak. Ripped it away. Gives Shaki the challenge, which he does. Fine job once it hits the carpet. Rockcliffe knew it was coming. To Rich, the launch. Ugly through the air. Still could be productive, but not so because of Eric McKenzie.
Again, an opportunity in the middle of the ground, though. Just got to sort this out. West Coast Eagles getting total domination with Nat Nui in his first tap, but not getting enough clean footy out, given his aerial dominance.
Back out towards Darling.
Good grab. Good signs there for Jack Darling.
Right on it there. Move it on. Play on. You.
Tosses it up for Adenui.
Oh, taken out. Yeah.
I was thinking mark of the year contender.
You were.
Yeah. Well, it was early last year when he did it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Here against Geelong, I think.
24 seconds. Can they manufacture one last goal in this term?
Kennedy. The Forest.
What about that grab?
Great mark.
The tallest tree takes the mark, kicks it towards full forward. Darling, he's got the position. If not to mark, did it get it out the back? Oh,
Had time to pick it up.
not sure what he was thinking there, Burnell.
It's a gutsy effort, though, by Jack Darling. He's run from the back flank to the goal square to give an opportunity.
So the high scoring continues. 6 goals, 2 for the West Coast. And Brisbane 4 goals 3. And the Eagles are up and about. The mascots giving them the standing ovation, while everyone else readies themselves for the final term at Domain Stadium. Well, it's been an entertaining afternoon at Domain Stadium. The frustrations for Justin Leppich have been evident, but there's been some positive things as well. Not that you could tell by that, but certainly this goal from Daniel Rich had the coach smiling. We've been entertained by some of the superstars of the West Coast Eagles, and there's none bigger than Nick Natanui, who's had 18 disposals. 15 of them have been won in a contest, and he's kicked 2 goals. And Prentice, quiet third quarter, just the 7 touches, 36 on the day. And Andrew Gaff has been prolific as well.
Andrew Gaff is the one for me because he went to a complete new level for himself as a player last year, and it was important for him to start this season well to show everyone, hey, last year just wasn't a fluke. I was able to get on my own footy, run hard the lines, and he's been able to do that again in his first game for 2016.
Let's head down to Barry Hall once again. Bess?
Yeah, thanks, Hutto. Well, I've been really impressed with the forward line from West Coast point of view. You look on paper and they're coming up against Brisbane, who are young, they're inexperienced, and clearly they're outclassed and outsized. They've had 17 marks inside 50. One thing I'm most impressed about, they've had 11 individual goal kickers, and just the workload that they've shared around. And the unselfish play, and from this guy on screen right now, he's probably the number 1 tip in terms of the Coleman medal. He's their number 1 goal kicker for the West Coast Eagles, but he's been the leader in terms of sharing the load and sharing the goals around. I think it's a really good message from his forwards point of view, and him as a leader at this group, that it's not all about me, it's about the team and winning and successful and wanting to redeem themselves from a pretty disappointing September. So I think it's a really good message from Josh Kennedy that he can share it around. It's not all about him.
Thanks, Baz. Ready for the action in the last quarter. What do you want to see here, John Owen Gerard, in this last term from Brisbane particularly, but also from the Eagles?
I want to see the Eagles really grind away, to be perfectly honest with you, Hutto. I think the way that they've been able to build this game so far, they'll be looking to, because percentage is going to come into it at some point throughout the year. So if you get off to a good start, build a healthy percentage for yourself, it can set you up later on.
They've probably conceded more points than they would have liked coming into the game.
But that's footy now. That's what we're loving, is the fact we play a 100-point game, a 100-plus point game, and we've seen that over round 1. And both teams here might end up, well, West Coast already over, and Brisbane may get around that mark with a big last quarter.
I think it was 86 last year, the average, and it would be 91 coming into this game. It's certainly going to go up on that. From what we've seen, what the numbers are already. Gaff taking it out wide. Redden, and Kennedy's got this one.
Well, it's a good passage of play from that half-back line, and once again, another unselfish, spotted up shot. And Josh Kennedy has given away a fair few today. He's also been on the receiving end of a number.
It'll be interesting to see whether Brisbane can run this game out or not, given their slightly limited pre-season.
It's been a tough build-up for them.
And Kennedy does the honours there, puts it through for his 5th goal. The margin out to 56. They've got a number of players who haven't played a pre-season game, which Alan Christensen's a prime example. It was really good early.
Has an effect, no doubt. It may have an effect. It'll have an effect over the next couple of weeks as they really build. It probably won't see them at their own full fitness, probably till rounds 4, 5 and 6 for Brisbane Lions.
Well, if we're working off the experience of St Kilda today, who also lost that game through to due to the weather, they got belted in the last quarter. So back in the middle we go, and I think what Justin Leppich would be desperate to see is winning the contested ball in this quarter and just keep more ball retention. Don't give it back as easily.
Umpire didn't get enough oomph into that bounce. It didn't quite get up far enough. And the Eagles are able to bundle it up, and now Shuey, he's there again. Kennedy.
Oh, good grab.
Grasped it cleanly, has a look around.
Entitled to have a shot.
Yeah, well, I think he should. Oh, now he will.
Oh, makes it easy.
He still might end up with a huge tally. The way he started this last quarter, not improving the mood of Justin Leppich at all. Stay in a bit of pain.
Well, it's the little things in the last quarter as well. Just dropping off your concentration, giving away an easy 50. So 2 quick goals to the Eagles.
And 6 in all now for Josh Kennedy.
Well, he's starting to get some... Well, he's got the reward in the first half with 4 goals anyway, but the way that he's been so unselfish today in bringing his other teammates into the contest as well, he deserves a couple like this as well, where he just gets... there it is there from Christensen, the 50 metres inside the zone. He knows it. And Kennedy was able to go to the goal square. And you see there, 13 marks. He's had 13 score involved, 14 score involvements as well.
One man who I'm sure would love to be out there today is Lewis Jetta. I think he's going to enjoy playing on this ground.
Yeah.
I think he's a bit dirty.
Well,
bit dirty he's not out there.
You reckon Gaff on one wing and Jetta on the other?
That's the one you want to see from Nat Nui. A little bit more often. It just gets them all thinking. They will argue. Some people would argue, well, they didn't win the ball. It's going to come straight back. But if they know it's coming, they can separate the players and get the Lions players away from that area.
Bit of early contact. Now in the end, the free is going to go West Coast way. He's a bit stiff. It's a bit stiff because I reckon he was being held first.
Yeah, the holding behind from Leicester. Oh, yeah.
And then he was hanging on for dear life.
That was a sloppy in the end.
Yeah, it was.
Crowd brings it in.
Redden's had 21 against his old side.
Jeez, that is confidence in your kicking.
Shepherd for Nelson.
Nelson's got to get used to hitting targets. Young player. That's the one.
Yeah, good little change up. Finds Butler. Still
They've really pushed it back now, the Brisbane Lions. They've got the aerial supremacy, though.
Darling hits it hard. Cripps got the full AFL 360 there. Hits the ground. Pritis, nice little step, and he'll say that's a pass. It might have been a shank. Not 15. The crowd he just took a heartbeat too long to react to that.
Well, it's right on the money.
15 was called before it even kicked it, I reckon.
Right on 3 mowing strips.
Give your meter, Nick. Step in 1 metre.
They've got the assistants there. They're 5
5 metre
wide.
strips.
Now we throw in Natanui. Oh, was he legged there?
Yes.
Brisbane Lions. Yeah, probably time back on. Straight out, Nick. Straight out.
Hanley's ball. Rich is in a bit of pain with a finger injury back in the middle of the ground.
Yep.
Hanley sends this one out to the wing.
His arm. West Coast. Hold there. Stay clear. Me.
I think he was trying to beckon Natanui to come. The Govern's cleaned a couple up in the path. Natanui all over it with Cripps, Rockcliffe, Christensen. Low ball on that outer wing for Taylor.
Made a blue there, the Eagles. They had 2 go to the 1 player, but because Taylor didn't move it swiftly enough,
I didn't think it was.
they didn't expose it.
Shepherd brings it to ground. Again, the extra numbers made life difficult for Josh Walker. Gaff bringing Nelson into it. Have to hurry the kick down the line. Lacroix in front. McStay with the spring. Bernal tagged. No free kick. Gardner. Cutler. And they're away through McStay. Louis Taylor.
He's a good kick, McStay. I mean, he has just ripped a bullet out there under severe pressure.
That's not so good. Natanui will he produce his 3rd goal here? No, he wants Josh to kick his 7th.
Great handball and great goal.
Is that what pleased you the most, is the fact that shared the ball around forwards 10, especially inside 50, to a player that's just in a lot better position to make things easier on themselves?
Been no second guessing for them, has there? It's been a really unselfish team-first approach. And maybe it takes losing a grand final to get it. Maybe it doesn't.
Well, I wish I really knew the answer to that, Jared. But look, it's just so impressive the way they've brought each other, got their confidence up in this first game.
That's moving on to the leaderboard now. 7 goals, 1 the return so far for Josh Kennedy, and there's still time. Huge last quarter already.
Yeah, it was a free kick against Lysette, but I think they'd be pleased with his efforts. Oh, he's left
Well
his
done.
man.
Yeah, that was excellent from McKenzie.
That's the Eric McKenzie that we knew before that reconstruction cut him down.
Back for Lysette. Martin comes late with good timing. Bell for Martin again. Kicks it for Walker.
Schofield 2-on-1.
Oh, he misjudged that.
He could have kicked 5 goals, Walker.
Yeah. He'll be really dirty on himself for that.
He will be.
I think he was expecting contact from behind. It just didn't come. He had the right protection.
I thought Schofield should have gone, to be honest. He just...
Yo. Britis back for Gaff, who continues to toil away. Rack up the numbers himself. 28 for Gaff, 38 for Britis.
And you just seen on screen before, boys, Mitch Robinson's getting a bit of treatment on that left calf, so might be a bit of fatigue, but he's been their best player for Brisbane, so they've had him back out there.
One of 4 best and fairest last year.
Play on. Play on.
Brisbane Lions. Shuey wobbles it back. Rockcliffe. The Bell. His 18th touch. Christensen deals it back out for Hanley. The lead's on for Rich. On the bounce, the scoop, the turn. He ignored the handball to Walker instead. Screws it back to the top of the square. Good early work by Leicester. He's got Taylor there and he knew it. But he socketed it through. A scramble, a goal.
Well, they're still working, and that's good signs for the Brisbane Lions. Probably the West Coast will question a few of their disposals under not that great a pressure, but Rich is looking good. He's wheeled onto that left foot a number of times, whether it be in defence or the middle, or even that half-forward line. Probably there was a free kick there, but...
Yeah, good tap out by Leicester. I think Pierce Hanley's the other one who would be good for this run. He's had a bit of ball, but he hasn't used it as well as he'd like.
Spot on, Jono.
Shepherd getting a bit of attention.
Coming out this side. Time you late.
Martin. Big day he's had trying to carry the ruck load. Stay got to the right spot to receive. And, oh, it was an awful handball for Bastanak. He just had to release it as soon as he could.
Look, Shuey came in tag teaming. Yep. He gave away a free kick.
Your free kick, Tom. He's on top of him. No, can't just go.
Not sure why Luke's so angry.
Crowd only just getting the message now. Forcing their displeasure. Tom Bell. You know, he can heave it a long way to half forward. And it was with the juggle, but he's dragged it down, Shaki. And Walker's into the space. Instead, he goes for Freeman. Got hassled out of it. Here's Rich again, twisting, turning onto that left. There's plenty of Eagles here to intervene, although a fumble from Schofield left the door ajar. The next handball was critical. Shepherd. And they managed to maintain some possession.
Yeah, weight of numbers there, Hutto. They worked extremely well to get numbers defensively.
But then,
to outnumber.
They've butchered it, though, a lot across that half-back line and just given it back.
Freeman from behind and McKenzie from the front.
That's number 2 now, where he's left his direct opponent in this quarter to take an intercept mark.
Works it back up to the wing.
What sort of throw was that?
Well, it was a good one because it's going to end in a goal or a shot at goal at least.
Shaki, so he's got 2 on the board. If he gets this one as a third, then the debut has been very successful.
Get back, guys, the back. 15 seconds gone.
To reduce the margin back to 55 points.
The ball has to be propelled by your fist. That looked like it was propelled by the supporting hand, whether or not there was a fist on it or not.
Just a couple of steps.
Jono.
And Jono stayed quiet before that.
Yes, I should have backed him in again. Here we go, Jared. Oh, yeah. That was a throw.
I almost defied the laws of physics. That could have been a handball. He's had a good game, Yo.
Yeah, he's such a good player now.
Hill was there. Prittis was charging ahead. He took a long time to see him. Now he spies him. Going to test his marking. And had a fair bit of work to do with the intercept efforts, haven't they? McStay and Gardner and Cutler back there.
Oh, they've had their work cut out, but you know what? They're still having a good crack at it. They're hanging in there and still trying to compete as best as they can with some good ball going forward from West Coast.
Back in.
Yeah, the boundary umpire, he might have missed a pre-season game as well. Just tiring a little.
They're on the wrong line as well. So. Hold the meter.
Well, I reckon 10 goals was the pass mark for the Brisbane Lions today. If they can keep it around this level, maybe pinch a couple back, basically don't crumble in the last 10 minutes, they go home pretty happy.
Taylor with a bullet for Freeman. Wanted to give to Christensen. They're charging forward. Next along the line to take the mark is Shaki. Walker deep. Oh, that's tough for Christensen. He's tough. Put on his brave face and wore it.
Let it go. You got the free. It's a free kick. You got the free, Daniel. It's a Brisbane free. It's okay.
I think they're all entitled to do what they did.
Yeah, they were.
Just hung there.
Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, it's just such a big contest. Chip over. Christensen. We caught the full force of a Schofield spore, which included the forearm across the head.
It's just a good contest.
Yep.
You saw Schofield, he'd left the ground before the ball was in Christensen's arms.
And lines nicely, pops it through for a goal. Reward for courage.
Yeah, it was good work. What I liked about the whole setup was Louis Taylor in the middle of the ground. With his run, he actually changed direction with his run and cut back inboard instead of continuing going wide, and that just opened things up totally for Shaki, as you see on screen here. He was up the lead up, then into the space of Louis Taylor. He needs to get back off the mark quicker. Look, he set up his teammate there with the chip kick. Great courage from Nelson coming back as well, but Christensen to keep his eye on the ball, knowing that he was going to get absolutely smashed.
So both Christensen and Lewis Taylor have kicked 3 goals each. Rockcliffe, Shaki and Walker also multiple goal kickers. Adenui another tap down. Prittis, Rich. Bats it forward. Oh, Christensen going high again. Advantage taken by Bastanak. Hurries it onto the left.
Play on.
Well, grabbed by Bell. Off for Hanley. Puts the move on. Onto the right boot. It's tight. It's a goal. They're flying at the moment, Brisbane.
Great passage of play by the Lions. They won the ball back out of that centre. Nat Nui again had first tap, didn't get it clear. And then Shaki's just starting to warm into it. Created a contest. Lepage would be happy with that. Coach Justin Lepage just bringing the ball to ground. Tom Bell, that was just exquisite roving. And then Hanley gets the job done.
That's better from Hanley.
His first of the afternoon, Pierce Hanley. Another who was interrupted by injury last year, just played the 11 games. He feeds it down, but the Brisbane Lions are really hungry in the middle. It's good pressure from Darling coming off the square that time. The step through from Duggan was effective. McGovern left it for Lysette, who ran right back through the traffic. They're all running towards goal.
Great mobility from Lysette.
Kennedy half played on. Now he does. Gives to Lacroix, who runs home the Eagles' 23rd goal of the afternoon.
Well, it was a good passage of play. Ball one back, I think it was by Liam Duggan, and then big Lysette. He came charging through. That was excellent work. Had some ankle problems last year.
Look at Josh Kennedy as well. He's laid that tackle in the middle of the ground, and look at the work of him then to push back so quickly.
Jeez, he was just cut a sway through it like a Gary
good
Ablett.
work from big Lysette.
Jump the footy, guys.
That's why Kennedy scores so often. Pure work rate. That's all it is. Up and down the ground.
Clark kicked his second goal. Shackles put on Shuey there, and he might get pinged here. Bemused look back at the umpire.
Not a genuine attempt at all. Play on.
Pasternak was the tackler. Not a genuine attempt.
Play on.
Apparently. Ellis. Hands were clean enough. And now the Eagles are away, and they're in behind. He didn't realise Lacroix.
Well, not the best kick.
Stay out. Play on.
Paperone gives to Harwood, and then to half forward to Bell.
Hold Shannon.
They're making them work for them there. They've really kept the Eagles honest. They've continued to work to work hard.
Got the numbers deep here. Walker, Natanui comes hard the other way. Buick fires away and misses.
Yeah, Daniel Rich come for the ground. As you see, his left hand has been a bit of tape now. Let's hope he's okay, because he's been in pretty good form.
It looks like he might have a broken finger. They just probably injected it to a ring block and taped the broken finger to the good ones.
Lysette, second time. Kenzie stuck under there.
If you inject, people would ask what a ring block is. If you inject just at the top of where the finger meets the hand, you can kill the finger in any sort of crack in the length of the finger. Just strap it up to your good finger, and it becomes no problem.
Seems like Jared's missing his physio days.
Yes,
a bit.
it is.
Duggan
when it comes out.
on the advance. Natanui, the give was instant. Darling, he knows he's got Elliot Yeo. It was a 30-metre handball to Yeo. And guess who's waiting for it? Kennedy kicks his 8. Or does he? He's missed it.
Well, there's a lesson.
Shake of the head. 54 points is the margin. Down the line, Christensen.
Well,
he was looking for another one, wasn't he?
He was stiff not to get it.
He was.
Well done from Yeo.
And then Gaff.
Oh, he's one easy.
Well, the Crow won't miss this.
Over the top.
He doesn't have to miss it. Makes it Josh Hill's delight.
They've enjoyed it. West Coast, haven't they, their forwards? They've enjoyed it all afternoon. I remember it was Geelong in their heyday, Hawthorn at their best, very unselfish in terms of what they produce as a forward group. Use each other and get each other up and going, and that's the most important thing. You've got a strong forward group that's cohesive and working together. Very difficult to stop.
Crowd of 35,000 at Domain Stadium. Eagles won 12 out of their 14 games here last year. Natanui still jumping against Martin. Hanley trying to track it back. Here's Kennedy. Takes it out of the centre. Lysette in front of Andrews. It almost stuck. Yeo. Andrews applying the tackle. Back to the square. Hill. Oh, couldn't quite scoop it up. Pasternak saves the day.
There's some traffic in there, though. There's bodies flying around everywhere.
Well, Brisbane points for their losses last year was 62 points. So 94 against the grand finalists. That's a big improvement with the way that they've moved the ball today.
I think their past 6 trips to this ground that only kicked 10 goals once.
Well, he's just taken on the pack there and failed.
And they've managed 14 today, but they've conceded 24. I suspect that might be about to advance. Shuey, oh, he's handed it straight back. Although Paperone wasn't ready to accept, and Lacroix gives Kennedy the chance for his 8th now. Just 15.
Thank you.
Didn't think so.
Josh, metre and a half. Yeah.
This for his 4th of the quarter.
15.
It's been pretty accurate today when he's had these set shots.
Yep.
Although,
from that spot exactly,
that is not his favourite spot, looking at the numbers. He makes a lie over that time, straight through the middle for number 8 for Josh Kennedy.
Well, his last shot previous to this, he shanked one from about 10 metres out. So he got another opportunity. He's had a tremendous day to kick 8 goals. He's been involved so many times, brought his teammates into the play as well. You can see him there. Look, he just sneaks out the back. Lacroix with the smarts just to see him. That's 15 metres. That's a clear mark. And it's just been a pure display from the West Coast Eagles today.
Martin chipping away at it. Pasternak to half forward, drops a bit short. Shaki fought on well at ground level, got some good assistance. Taylor, they're on the advance, decides to whip it out. And Lester, the shortest of short passes for Christensen.
But I like that from Brisbane. That's the unselfish style. You had Louis Taylor, who could have bombed from 50, picked the better option.
I didn't hear anything.
And then it was brought in board from Lester to Christensen. It was great team play.
Christensen lining up for his 4th goal. A bit left.
He's missed it. He's had a good game, though. He started the game very well.
I just think the biggest area that the Eagles will want to address is their centre clearance numbers. They've had Nat Nui totally dominating, 33 hit-outs to 9. And yet the clearance numbers are 20 to 18. So Brisbane Lion, I think, have had a massive victory in their centre clearance department.
And probably show in some ways the rest of the competition. We'll have a bit of a look at that.
And it'll show the Eagles that they've got some work to do.
Yeah, definitely.
They've had 21 hit-outs to advantage to 6, but that hasn't resulted in the dominance that you would expect with those sort of numbers.
Well, they're getting first possessions at an even rate, 19 to 19.
McGovern, they're in behind again. He can kick it a long way. Kennedy can wind up. Number 9 could be on the way. That was a free kick.
Not subtle enough.
No.
It was as subtle as the proverbial sledgehammer.
Didn't really need to do it either, did he?
No, he didn't.
Well, I mean, it's worth doing, but you can't take him out.
Shuey on the outside. They're still down there, ready for it. Here's the launch. It's coming. It's coming from Shuey. To Kennedy. He ran one way, and Burnell ran the other.
Oh, and again, look at
That's
this.
a bit sloppy from the Lions. Forward. He just teased them a bit there. Jack Darling.
3 or 4 like that in this last quarter, where it's just been an easy handball over the top to a West Coast player, pretty much walking into an open goal square. And look, how long was Darling and Kennedy down there 2v1 on McStay? What chances has he got? Burnell comes in behind the contest there on Sammy Mays, and once again Hill and Darling just all by themselves walking into an open goal square.
I'm your leg begin, guys.
Go. 71 points is the margin then. Last 4 minutes of this game remaining.
Play on.
Was thrown out there. Mays across half back. Hard going for Tommy Cutler. Eagles all over him. They can all sense a chance to rack up a few more numbers before the siren sounds.
Speaking of numbers, Hutto, Prentice is up to 43. Previous best is 45. Has he got time?
Oh, he's got time.
Thank you. Play on. Play on.
Just about to enter the fray there, but instead they've kept it out of his hands. Taylor works it back to the wing. Lester can drift over the pack, can't mark. Shepherd.
Good effort by Shepherd in a 2-on-1.
And he showed it. He talked a lot about him playing undersized, being able to intercept, but even in the one-on-ones, he was able to really hold his own. I think that's something all the Eagles did last year. A lot was made of the web, and rightly so, but when they had to go one-on-one, they were able to do it. Rockcliffe.
Yeah, they basically had the close enough to the perfect season, but the last day.
Yep.
Advantage.
Their ball use on that day really hurt them. Taylor, bit of a handball run, handball drill. Freeman just gets it off, but Taylor goes to ground. Christensen's going to get another one.
Oh.
And I reckon Schofield's given away most of them.
Yep.
He's found his man.
Well, he can draw a high tackle, that's for sure. It's at 4 today.
So let it go. Cut.
So Christensen comes in.
Oh, no.
That was horrendous.
Well, it's an unfortunate error after a terrific game from him.
Oh,
Rockcliffe
yeah.
ran into trouble in the form of Scott Lysette on the wing. Big fly from Natanui.
Hold there. Stay there. Right on it.
Darling will take that.
Back. West Coast. Straight
Down
up.
to make you
Hold
earn it.
there. Hold there.
Fashion style.
Thank you.
Chris coming off the ground. That's going to make it difficult, Baz.
Play on. Play on.
Natanui.
Again, he's worked hard. What's
He's
he up
taken a
to?
contested mark on the back flank and whipped forward and taken another.
21 disposals,
Come back.
6 marks, kicked a couple.
And
You
unfortunately
run through the mark.
for
No, you
West
can't
Coast
do that.
fans, the Kennedy mark's not going to count.
There's still a chance to get this again, Kennedy.
Where you are. Yep.
Darling's down there as well. We're looking for likely candidates to take a big grab. McGovern's calling for a 35 out. That's where he heads.
And got him.
Just couldn't snatch it. Oh,
Good mark.
Good mark in front from Christensen there. 3 goals too. Could have 5 to his name, Christensen, easily, and has had 17 disposals. They've handed it back in the middle of the ground. Real ring around again. Rich eventually.
I liked his game, Daniel Rich. I've liked more
Been good.
forward of centre type ball from Daniel Rich. He's played out a full forward a couple of times, come out of the square well. Should have been hit up a couple of times from his teammates.
Thanks, guys. Just fell over. Straight back here. Play on.
And there he is again. And
Got
popping
it.
it through.
Clear.
12 seconds remaining. 13, actually. Daniel Rich kicks the goal.
Yep, they've hung in Brisbane. Look, you know, West Coast are a class above. We get that with their development where they're at. But well done to Brisbane, trying different things like that. It's worked. Things you work on over that summer period that come off under match conditions is really, really critical and important for their growth as a team.
That was quite an interesting one because Steph Martin just wrapped up Natanui. Wasn't interested in going the ball. Let the third man up. Flicked it out to Daniel Rich. And he converted.
I think we know what they did last summer, Jono. They worked on a few more attacking processes.
Yes, thank you, Hutto.
And it's resulted in a...
The movie was Scream as well, for all those who gave me feedback.
Minor correction.
Yes.
Now,
But it was a big mark from McStay.
It was. Siren sounds, and the West Coast Eagles start the season with a big win in an entertaining clash. Josh Kennedy with 8 goals. And we saw some great individual acts. And that man, Matt Prittis, continues his prolific ball-winning ability from last year. 43 touches. Andrew Gaff had to settle for second prize with 33. Luke Shuey also getting into the 30s. Josh Hill joined the party with 3 goals. Luke Shuey, as we mentioned, 16 handball receives in his 30 disposals as they ran them ragged here. And Nick Natanui, 22 disposals, 17 earned in a contest, 2 goals.
The other one who we can't forget either is Eric McKenzie. First game back.
Yeah, it's good to see him back.
24 disposals, 12 kicks at 92%. His last quarter in particular was very good. A couple of big intercept marks, leaving his direct opponent. Great game from him.
Yeah, they had a lot of performance right across the line. Yo was good. Cripps, as always, produced. Got 3 goals as well as 16 possessions. I think Bennell's run is also pretty well significant for them. Got a couple of goals. And on the boundary line, Barry Hall with one of the stars.
Yeah, got the best player on the ground, and Josh, well, 25 disposals, 16 marks and 8 goals. Not a bad day at the office.
Mate, yeah, it was good. It was good to get the first win home, and yeah, it was a bit of a scrappy game here and there, just for round 1, but no, it was good to get the win.
I was really impressed the way he shared the goals around, particularly in the forward half. You had a lot of goal kickers tonight. Was that a conscious effort? It seemed to be something you really focused on.
Yeah, I think we've always tried to spread the goal kickers, make sure we change it up inside 50, who's there. So, no, it's good to see we've got an even spread.
And you always get it, the midfield's a pretty dominant outfit. Nick Natanui's great again, getting them in there for you.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, it's always good when Nick's getting on top. So, yeah, the boys worked hard in the guts, and we got some ball up forward, which was handy.
Big week next week, grand final replay, yeah. MCG, doesn't get bigger.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good one, so it's good to get up and challenge the best again.
Go and enjoy it.
Cheers, mate. Ta.
8 goals, including 4 in the last term from Josh Kennedy. And he's made a pretty reasonable start in defending his Coleman medal. But as Barry mentioned, the eyes quickly turn to the Hawks. Right now, though, we'll reflect on the West Coast 64-point win over Brisbane.